Big O Show. This is the 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 Big O Show. This.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Miles an hour, that's a Category 4 hurricane. 3 deaths are reported in Florida after more than 24 were killed in the Caribbean. This.
There's no need to drive around South Florida wasting valuable time looking for a new or certified pre-owned Acura. Go to the #1 volume sales dealership in the Southeast United States. Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. Purchase with pace and space in a dealership tailored to your needs. From home buying to providing that personal touch. Contact the 2020 Satisfaction Award winner Craig Zinn's Acura of Pembroke Pines. 888-776-5123. That's 888-776-5123. Or visit them at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com.
For over 16 years, EJDConstruction.com has provided South Florida residents quality craftsmanship, accurate project management, and exceptional service. That's why EJDConstruction.com is an A-rated member of Angie's List and the Better Business Bureau. When you're looking for the right custom home builder for additions or home remodeling, please call my friend Eric at 305-433-4843. That's 305-433-4843 for EJDConstruction.com.
following statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. When it comes to South Florida sports teams, very few in the media have witnessed, lived, and covered it like the Big O. Let's start the program dedicated to your favorite South Florida teams with a passion that's unmatched. The Big O Radio Show is on. Here's the Big O.
All righty. Good morning, boys and girls. Ready to rock and roll on the show on a beautiful Wednesday. Yes. Sean Stanley by my side. I don't know about, what is it, like 900 miles away or something? But yeah, he's here and we are there. We're in Atlanta. Day 2.5, I guess, 2.25, because barely got here on Monday night. So it's really more about Tuesday, Wednesday, and we're off on Thursday back to Miami, and we'll be at Hialeah Park in the afternoon. So looking forward to that. Last night, had a great time at the Cure. They 29-song set like they've been doing every single night. They played a whole bunch of classics. Obviously, it was awesome, man. We had great seats. We were right on the side of the stage, so we had a great view of everything, and it was they sounded fantastic. The opening act, the Twilight Sad or so. I couldn't understand a goddamn thing those people were singing, to be quite honest. A Scottish band. Somebody tell the lead singer of the Scottish band, dude, overalls that's not for lead singers. You know, I get it. It worked for Dexy's Midnight Runners because it kind of went with the whole Come On Eileen, broke ass, thing that they did with the video and all that kind of stuff. But, when your frontman comes out with overalls, I got to tell you, whatever. Supposedly that's like one of Robert Smith's favorite bands or something like that. I'm not sure, but I can't say that I was impressed with the opening act at all. Whatever. I guess I'm going to have to deal with them again tonight. Maybe not. Maybe now that I know what they are, maybe I'm going to hang out on the concourse and people watch instead. Maybe I'll do that, tonight instead of going in a little early. So, but it was great. Really had a fantastic time last night. It was just, man, awesome. Really awesome to see. And I'm so blessed because obviously I was Pat in Nashville. I don't even know if he's on watching because he's in his hotel. Also, he's here. We were hanging out yesterday. And he's such a good dude. And he was asking me about my favorite bands. And I always talk about U2 and Iron Maiden, and The Cure is, right there with them. The Cure and The Fix. It's really like a foursome for me. You know what I mean? It's really Iron Maiden, U2, The Cure, The Fix. Those four bands, which, by the way, they just announced The Fix is coming. So I am definitely going to be at The Fix. Anybody going to be at The Fix at Revolution Live? I will be there, baby. I'm going to see. I have to. They just announced it yesterday. My buddy Grieper told me he took off now. He went to Martin Luther King's house to go do that. Unfortunately, I won't be able to. Later on, we're going to go to the College Football Hall of Fame. We're going to do that. I've been there, but I would have liked to have gone to see Martin Luther King's house. That would have been actually a really cool thing to do. But what's it called? Just, having a good time out here. The concert has been awesome. I'm looking forward to tonight. What else? What else can I tell you about Atlanta? Oh, we went to the Coca-Cola factory yesterday and we took the tour. Let me save you $23. Okay? Do not. I mean, listen, when I was a kid, I hate doing this shit, by the way. I hate being the old man on the lawn and get off my lawn shit. But I did the Coca-Cola tour when I was a kid. When I was at Arbondale Elementary, one of our field day trips was to the Coca-Cola factory right off of the Palmetto. You all know what I'm talking about. Those of you that have been in Miami for a long time, like yours truly, born and raised. So we saw the whole bottling process, all that kind of stuff. It was great. It was awesome. So I figured we were going to go, we were going to take the Coca-Cola tour, and I'm going to catch Laverne and Shirley, doing their thing and all that. Brother, you don't see anything. You don't see any Coca-Cola getting bottled. You don't see anything. They start off with this film that was from it looked like it was taken out of a camera and then put on a big screen. Like, Coke, you have all this money, dude, and you have a cheap ass video to start off that it drives you crazy. It makes your eyes like it almost like it messes with you. You know what I mean? Like, it didn't belong on a big screen. And then you do you walk around to the different areas, and the only thing that's good is the tasting room that you go to try the different types of drinks that they have all over the world, and that's it. And this woman told me to try the one that they have in France called Beverly. That was worse than the Fountain of Youth. Anybody ever gone to St. Augustine and tried the Fountain of Youth? That water sucks, dude. That tastes like crap. And so, but save you the $23. Do not take the Coca-Cola tour. Wow, that is a waste. That is 2 hours and $23 that I can't get back. Okay, so warning, you guys know I don't bullshit you, man. I'll tell you, if somebody can't sing, don't go to this concert. If this place ain't good, don't go to this. And I don't bullshit you. That Coca-Cola tour here is horrible. Okay, it's an absolute ripoff, to be quite honest. So don't take the Coca-Cola tour. There are many other things you can do in Atlanta. The aquarium is awesome. I've been to the College Football Hall of Fame. That is fantastic. Okay, there are things you can do here in Atlanta. A lot of things you can do. The one thing I would tell you to never, ever, 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 ever do is the Coca-Cola tour. Okay. Oh, wow, that was bad yesterday. I regretted going to that shit. Really, I was like, this is a complete ripoff. But hey, what can I tell you? We will have Ira Winderman in about 7 minutes. He's going to join us around 10:20. Yesterday, I'm sitting there waiting for the opening act actually to take the stage, the Never Ending Sad or Sad Story or whatever the hell they're called. And I look up to the rafters. The tweet is out there. You can see the tweet on our feed at Big O Show. And I look up and Dominique Wilkins' number is retired. Bob Pettit, when they were the St. Louis Hawks. Dikembe Mutombo. They even have Ted Turner up there, obviously, because he owned the team for so long and all that crap. And then I'm looking for anything else. And there was nothing. And I tweeted out, Heat fans, we can say, like I tell you, hey, Riley has had trouble getting his own whale in 20 years. He hasn't gotten his own whale. But at the same time, I'll remind you, we can be pissed off about that. But 3 Eastern Conference Finals and 2 NBA Finals appearances in the last 4 years. Even with Riley not having his complete fastball, it's way better than anything you could ever bring here, because nobody else is out in the street is going to do what Riley even did the last 4 years, much less what he's done in 27 years. That's why I can bitch a little bit about this or that the Heat haven't done, but you'll never hear me say you got to make any changes or anything. I always I got Riley's back till I die. Okay. So that's neither here nor there. But I look up and there's no titles, no nothing. There's no accomplishments. And that's when you got to sit back and say, as a Heat fan, you look up to the rafters in the Heat arena, and there's a lot of accomplishments. So you got 2 Hall of Fame coaches that have been part of your organization. You have now several Hall of Fame players that are part of your organization. You have several championships. You have several trips to the championship game. You have several trips to the Eastern Conference Finals. And I don't even know how many division titles. That's just a ridiculous amount. What is it, 12, 14? Can you look it up in the Riley era, Sean? I'm going to guess, you know what? I'm going to go Marino. I'm going to go 13 division titles since Riley's been here. Okay, let's go that much. I don't know. Maybe it might be even more. But anyway, the amount of winning that's gone on here is just ridiculously stupid. And so I'm sitting there in Atlanta, and it's a beautiful arena. It really is a beautiful arena. Okay, nothing to complain about. The State Farm Arena, right? I forgot what it was called before that, just recently. But you look at it, well, how many?
When did he arrive exactly?
27 years ago. 90 something, bro. Whatever.
Is that 96?
Yeah. I want to say 96 is pretty good. 96.
Well, we didn't start winning until 97, and then we have 16 titles.
16 division titles. Wow.
16 division titles, seven conference titles, and of course 3 championships.
That's just stupid. That's just stupid. That's a stupid amount of winning. You know what I mean? And that's why I never, ever entertain anybody that ever tells you to make a change with Riley. Ever. Because you go micro instead of macro. I always tell you that. Go look at macro. Don't look at micro. We can complain micro. We can never complain macro. So never let that lead you to that decision. You know what I'm saying? But it's just one of those things. I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for the Cure to take the stage, and I'm looking up at the rafters. And Atlanta has no accomplishments. Nothing. Yeah, Mutombo's up there. Wilkins is up there. Bob Pettit's up there. Ted Turner's up there. Where are the championships? Where? You know what I'm saying? And that's where, that's why I tweeted out yesterday. Be grateful what you have, Heat fans. Be grateful, because you look up at our rafters and there's titles and there's, all kinds of accomplishments. And that's what you got to feel. You know what I mean? And when I'm sitting here in Atlanta and I look up and I look at that arena and I go, kind of empty. Really beautiful arena. So a couple of really nice names hanging from the rafters. What did they accomplish? And my buddy Greeper's joking next to me, and he goes, "Hey, don't they have John Concax up there?" An old salary cap reference in the early days of the salary cap for those of you out there, or not salary cap, or just salary situation from back in the day. But anyway, yeah. So, appreciate it, because being here in Atlanta and looking at that going, yeah, nice arena, a couple of nice names. What else? What else have you accomplished? And you've accomplished absolutely nothing. It's crazy stuff. All right. Got a bunch of stuff to talk about. Marlins to continue to stay red hot. I got some Dolphin stuff that I got to say, I find it absolutely hilarious that everybody's reporting what we reported 2 weeks ago. And then people are making sound what happened now when it happened 2 weeks ago. So we'll get into that. We got Ira coming up. So got a bunch of Heat stuff now. And I'll get into it with Ira now, because now I'm getting a little bit more warmed up to these new rules now, which, wow, We'll get into all that. We got some stuff we got to talk about with Tyreek Hill, Inter Miami, NFL news, some entertainment stuff also. All of that, man. So we got a bunch of stuff. Sean Stanley mastering the program. We are in Atlanta for at least one more day. Tomorrow we'll be back in Hialeah at Hialeah Racetrack. We'll be out there at the casino broadcasting live like we always do every Thursday afternoon. And then Friday we'll be at Acura Pembroke Pines to wrap up the week. Let's get to our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman next.
Heat fans, time for the best insight of your favorite team with insider Ira Winderman, exclusively on the Big O Radio Show. It's the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report. Here's Ira Winderman.
All right. Good morning, sir. How are you doing?
Good. It's kind of weird for you to be the one sitting in front of the hotel room bed, and this time me to be at home in my home studio. So enjoy the road. I'm glad to be off it for a little while.
Yeah, I'm enjoying it. I mean, this might be the Cure's last big tour. So Robert and the boys were awesome last night. So I'm going to see them again tonight. And then I'll see them on Saturday with the wife and the daughter in Miami. So I get to see them 3 times on this tour. So it's one of my favorite bands. So I want to make sure I take advantage of it. Plus, they mix it up. They'll sing like maybe 10 different songs tonight than they did the night before. So that's pretty cool. And they'll do that. I think they're up to like 63 songs right now in their rotation. So you could go see them multiple nights, and you'll see some classics one night that you didn't hear, the other night. So it's pretty cool. Like I bet they won't play 6 different ways like they did last night. I bet they won't play it tonight. And that's one of those classics that they don't play, a ton. I don't know if you're into The Cure.
I'm not. I'm just curious. What's the guarantee play every concert song for them? Like, what's the have to have it song?
Friday, I'm in Love. People love that song. Boys Don't Cry is another one. They did that last night. Songs like that are probably like, they from Disintegration, Fascination Street. They did not play that last night. I bet you they'll play Fascination Street tonight. But going to see The Cure is a lot like seeing Billy Joel. That doesn't matter, dude. You can watch a 30-song set and you're going to go, fuck, he didn't play Vienna. He didn't play this. He didn't play that. And you're like, shit, because he has too many songs. That's why Billy Joel, he has concerts where he goes, well, so what do you want? She Has a Way, or do you want Pressure? And he could just do that for like 8 hours, and he can play, because that's Billy Joel. And I think The Cure is like that too, that they have so many songs that after a 29-song set, you're going to go, well, they didn't play this, and they didn't play this, and they didn't play this. And, it's one of those kind of deals. That's why it's actually really cool that the concert shirts last night, Ira, they were $25. That's ridiculous. Concert shirts are $35, $45 easily when you go. He had them at $25. He made Ticketmaster refund all of us $35 per ticket because he felt that the fees were too much.
Sure. And they are.
I got $100 back from me, my wife, and my daughter in a refund from Robert Smith because of that. I mean, we were on the bowl right off the stage, and they were $140 tickets. Which some people out there might sound, that's not actually expensive for a concert like that. When you're right, we're literally 30 feet from the stage. Those are easily well over $200 for a lot of big time bands in the lower bowl. And it just he doesn't really rip off his fans. That's actually really cool. Pearl Jam does the same thing too. They don't overcharge.
Right. Yes.
Iron Maiden doesn't overcharge. It's another one of my favorite bands. There's some of these bands actually don't abuse of us. You know what I'm saying? Unlike the Stones, who will charge you to They'll charge you as much as they can charge you, dude. Bruce Springsteen. Oh my God, I've got to mortgage my house to go see Bruce Springsteen.
Because he knows that he has his listenership in that sweet spot of expendable money so that they can go out. They're at a point now they're not spending on their kids are out of the house. Hell, grandkids are out of the house. So they have the disposable cash.
Yeah, his fan base has the money. There's no doubt about it. But he's kind of priced me out at times, man. There have been times like when he came to the Hard Rock, I was like, Bruce, I've seen you a whole bunch of times. I cannot go to this one.
Oh, no. My wife and a bunch of friends went to Orlando just to get arena pricing as opposed to Hard Rock. Everyone she thought she would see down here at Hard Rock, she saw in Tampa and she saw in Orlando, just because at least in a concert venue, the tickets were not like they were at Hard Rock Live. Yeah.
Hard Rock Live, the tickets are a little steep. Ira, it's almost like terrible timing for the Miami Heat because the rules changed, and the way the rules changed and the way I understand it, it's going to be so punitive just to bring back the same team.
Oh, sure.
So the way I see it and the way that you guys are writing this stuff, and then I look at the reality of it, and then I look at their track record in a way, I almost have a hard time seeing both Strus and Gabe come back because one way or the other, if you sign one, you're paying extra tax. You sign both, oh my God, you go over the second apron. So, and you're really, it's almost like you're really not a championship team, but yet you have David Copperfield, who makes you a championship
and
team.
you have the history of this team. I would put it this way, Big O.
It's weird, man.
I think there's 0% chance, you can put me on the record, we'll talk again next week in our Accurate Pembroke Pines report, of both Gabe and Max coming back.
I agree.
That's not happening.
Yeah.
I would say there's probably no more than 50% chance of one of the two happening.
I think it's 25.
And I think you might be right there. I'm trying to be judicious here, not to disappoint the fans. You have the new rules coming in, so not only would their contracts impact this year, but contracts going forward, salaries going forward with the new rules. There's another part B to this, and I spoke to an agent about this last night. Through no fault of Max and no fault of Gabe, the contracts that the Heat have given to their supporting players have been way out of line in recent years. Duncan Robinson stands as number one in that element. You can go back to the Dion Waiters, the James Johnson, and the others. This has changed. It's sort of like the NFL. You will pay at the top. You will give your quarterback $1 gazillion. But then when you get to your running backs and you get to other support positions, you don't pay as much. Why guys want to be classified as wide receivers, not as tight ends when it comes to various, machinations there with contracts. And the Heat have to be smart. So again, I know you don't want to hear this, Big O, but if the Heat lose Gabe Vincent and lose Max Strus, there will be losses. They won't be as good. But I still can give you a starting lineup of Bam Adebayo, Kevin Love, Jimmy Butler, Tyler Hero, and Caleb Martin, and still have a Duncan Robinson, and still have a Kyle Lowry off the bench, still give you enough Jovic. I think Jaime Jaquez Jr. is going to contribute as a rookie. So then you're going to tell me, like you were inferring just now, but Ira, that's not a championship level team. But you know what, Big O? Neither was this year's roster, and they got within 3 wins of a title. Neither was last season's roster. They got within 1 win of the NBA Finals. So I was talking to someone who says, you can't do anything with that roster. And I said to that person,
Eric
take me back to the Chicago game in the play-in, fourth quarter, you're losing. You would have told me you can't do anything with this roster. This is what's going to happen. I'm going to be on a bunch of Accurate Pembroke Pines reports during the season, and Big O's going to be going, Ira, I don't know about this team. And I'm going to be telling Big O, let's wait to the playoffs and play off Jimmy and when they're interested. That's just who this team is. This team plays for the moments. This team prepares for the moments. They can survive without, I know you don't want to hear this, without Max Strus and without Gabe Vincent. They'll bring in Javonte Green to shoot 3-pointers. They'll bring in a Corey Joseph to play point guard. Or honestly, for 1 year, not a lifetime, a Derrick Rose, who I know is 30-something, but I'm just talking about a 1-year rental, and they might have to do that. Their priorities are this: Jimmy Butler's contract, Bam Adebayo's contract, Tyler Hero's contract is either in play for the Heat or in play for a trade. But beyond the top 3 contracts, as you read over this weekend in my column, the way the new NBA luxury tax tiers work, you can't be reliant on more than 3 for big money unless you want to be like Phoenix and saying, we're going to take the chance. The chance that failed in Brooklyn with Garnett and Darren Williams and Paul Pierce, the big 3 and nothing else. That's a dangerous way to go as well. So we shall see.
Yeah, with the Beal one, I have no. Listen, I can complain at times that maybe they've been a little frugal and they're worried so much about tax and all that. I would have never paid the tax for Bradley Beal. For me, that contract was never worth it. So that was the move that you shouldn't have made, and you did it.
And
so
the one caveat there is, if they would have thrown in Duncan Robinson, I would have been okay with it. Because all of a sudden, in Bradley Beal getting $50 million overpaid, you're reducing $18 million in your payroll. Yeah. And that's what people fail to see. They hear all about this Bradley Beal and the Heat wouldn't pay and luxury tax. No, the offer was never Kyle Lowry and Victor Oladipo's expiring contract. It was, if you want us to take your really bad money, you have to take at least some of our lesser bad money. Right. So, you know what? Washington had a choice right there. They could have gotten a better draft pick package from the Heat, probably. If they took Duncan, they didn't. That's still the offload for the Heat now. I know there's talk about Kyle Lowry, but he expires. He vanishes after this year.
Right.
Duncan continues 2 more years. The Heat will look all season for a team that needs a shooter and say, hey, let's make a deal.
Yeah, and the only thing, because I'm expecting that they're going to lose Gabe and Strus. The tax is not worth it.
Yes.
What you have to work your way to is getting to being liquid again, which you're not. So by adding another salary and tax is not going to get you there. You need to get through you got to tear the scab off. And next year you got to wait for that Lowry and Oladipo money to get off your goddamn books. And then in 2024, 2025, you're now looking at a different team with some flexibility possibility, because maybe even Duncan builds off of what he did this year into next year. Then he becomes super tradable.
Yes.
At one point.
Closer to expiring. And
so
here's the other point.
What the Heat have to do, what I'm trying to say is what the Heat have to do now is, after all the bad decisions that have kind of put you into this position, you have to kind of work out of those bad contracts to get back to the point where I wanted you to be when you signed Whiteside and all those guys. I'd rather you try to sign those guys on 1-year deals, and if they want it, fine. If they don't, move on, but keep the money liquid into next year. And they didn't. They tied themselves down to 3 to 4 years with those guys. You can't keep doing that here. You need to kind of get everything out of the way at least from what I'm looking at in the landscape of things. Yeah, if you can make the Lillard move, fantastic.
Yes, big move. If you can make the big move.
That's the only move that's made out there. I was laughing yesterday. I think Barry put, well, the Heat are going to stay patient now that the Heat have no choice to have to stay patient. There's nobody out there worth trading for. Lillard is the only difference maker that could possibly make your team a championship winner, not just contender, a winner. Outside of that, all the other names that are available aren't going to make the difference.
Well, that's the thing. You have to wait. There will be others. Now, I don't agree with some of the others. Zach LaVine, not a big fan, wouldn't pay his contract. Karl Anthony Towns, softer side, would not pay his contract. So what you have to do is you have to be ready to pounce for a moment. But I want to go back to Gabe for a moment. I'm going to ask you a little quiz here, so be ready, Big O.
Yes.
Which player is more valuable and more important to the Heat? Caleb Martin or Gabe Vincent?
Caleb Martin, because he can play Jimmy Butler's position when Jimmy is not there. And I still think he's the one role player that has the possibility of having star quality to him. So I would do it. The only reason I'm going to hate to lose Strus and Gabe, I'm with you. I think Jovic will add something. I think Highsmith is ready to add something that you missed.
I think Hawkins is a 4-year senior, 22 years old.
I'm with you. The only negative I have from losing those 2 young guys is the point guard position.
And I agree.
Will suffer a little bit. Even getting Tyler back, you're going to have to get me a veteran. I know you said a Rose, but you're going to have to find me some kind of a point guard veteran that can help out and take the load off of Lowry, because Lowry can't.
Absolutely.
He can run your offense, but he is not enough of a threat offensively to be productive like you need him out there. So they're going to have to be really creative in trying to find that point guard to fill in for.
And there's enough out there in the low end. My point with Caleb Martin was this. Caleb Martin signed a 3-year, you were out with us in Summer League when he signed last year, a 3-year, $20 million contract.
Mm-hmm.
So if Gabe Vincent wants to come back on something like that, I would have to consider it in that range. The problem is, I think Gabe Vincent is looking at 3 years at $40 million. So if you're Mickey Harrison and you sit there with Pat Riley, Anders Ellisberg, and Adam Simon and go, wait a minute, which is the better player? And they all agree it's Caleb Martin. So you're saying, wait a minute, you want to pay someone who twice as much money, who is not as good. You've got to get your books in common sense order. What's the Heat hierarchy? Jimmy Butler, number 1. Bam Adebayo, number 2, no matter what you think. As of now, Tyler Hero, number 3. You're looking for a better 3 or a better big 3 to move that order around. Lillard's the guy. What you have to do is not just sit there with Dame.
Lillard's the number 1.
And
not a 2, not a 3. Butler gets knocked to number 2. Lillard's number 1, yes.
Willingly, because Jimmy doesn't have to score. Jimmy likes to pass. Jimmy prefers to defend. He'll cover for you. So if I'm the Heat, I have every player's name in the league. So many people are fixated, Big O, on Damian Lillard. You never know what's going to happen. You never know if Donovan Mitchell goes, this Cleveland thing sucks. And you just don't know. Yeah. So you have a hierarchy and you say, okay, if any of these 5 names become available, we pounce. We go in with Hero. We go in with the 3 first-round picks, and you find your names. Otherwise, you wait. The one thing the Heat have shown is they're never going to be terrible. They're always going to be competitive. They're always going to be on this side of 500. The other thing the Heat have shown, come the playoffs, the Milwaukee series in 21, the lone exception. Otherwise, Jimmy Butler will get you to the conference finals. You know those 2 were pretty much givens, and you work from there. But yes, they're in a tough spot. If the Heat knew, if Andy Ellisberg, with his mathematical wizardry, knew the CBA was going to be like this, he definitely would have done things differently, including the bonuses in Tyler's contract that now count against the second apron. But I'll say this. If anyone is capable of pivoting, and you know people in other sports who do this also, Andy Ellisberg will find the quirks. He'll be the Bill Belichick of rules changes, where you change the rules to this, and all of a sudden Belichick goes, okay, I'll just take 20 delay a game penalties and run the clock down because you forgot about the timing rule. Andy will find a way to work around it. It will take time. Don't doubt Andy Ellisberg. Don't doubt Eric Spoelstra. Don't doubt Jimmy Butler. You have those 3 on your side, you're going to be in a good place.
No, I agree with all of that. I just think common sense, when you look at the landscape right now, and I know it's going to be a hard sell to the average fan because they're not going to take the time to actually look at it. But the tough sell, which is the reality, you need to get back to being fluid again. And you're tied up to too many bad contracts. So unfortunately, the good thing is you have the best coach in the NBA. So I don't think you're going to lose much. You might be just as good next year as you were this year, because he'll work his ass off and this team
and develop.
And develop. And so I'm not that worried, but you have to get out of these bad contracts.
Correct.
You can't try to think you're going to fix it by desperate moves. And to me, the Bradley Beal move, and this is not hindsight, I said it before, that's a desperate move. He is not a superstar. He's not the guy that elevates a franchise. I'm sorry. I have never seen it from Bradley Beal so far. With Dane, I have seen that guy do things that's what stars do.
Right.
And so that for that guy, I will move mountains. For anyone else that's available, Zach LaVine, he doesn't play defense, dude. He has an injury history. It's a really rich contract. Again, these are desperate moves to bring in a name to try to
chase
appease
bad money with more bad money.
Yeah. So unfortunately, you're going to spend the next year or two trying to get rid of these salaries
while also winning.
Well, but you always win. They're always win. We're spoiled rich kids. It's not just winning. We want to win a title. You know what I mean? That's what I was saying. I'm sitting there waiting for the cure, and I'm going,
Right.
I'm looking at this arena. It's a beautiful arena. Never been in that arena. I'm looking at that arena. I'm going, wow, man, it's gorgeous. I look up, I see Mutombo, I see Pettit, I see Wilkins, and then I go, where are the accomplishments?
Right.
And and then that's when I tweeted out, Heat fans appreciate this shit,
And
dude.
next season at Kaseya Center, there'll be another Eastern Conference Championship banner. Not the
Number-
ultimate, but
number
still
s-
a nice piece of laundry to have hanging from the rafters.
Dude, that's number 16 in 27 years.
Yeah.
That's
for the
no
divisions,
joke.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's no joke, dude. And that's number 8 or 7 in the conference finals.
Yeah,
And
I mean, the
no,
NBA finals-
It's 11, I think, conference finals, and it's NBA finals is what, 7 now, right, or 8? What is it?
4 plus 1,
7,
2, 3,
7.
7. Yeah.
7. That's
7 out of 35
ridiculous.
ain't bad. That's one every 5 years in the franchise's history. Think about that. The average team makes the final once every 15 years based on 30 teams. Yeah.
Don't ruin our. No. Just do the Riley years. Don't count those years.
Nah, I was
And
there. I
27.
lived through them. I'm counting them.
I paid him. I was a season ticket holder the first 4 years with my wife, then girlfriend at that time. So I lived it too as a season ticket holder first 4 years, and then I got in the media and never bought a ticket again. But so I've lived it, but I only count the Riley years,
Right?
Because that's really when things got serious and like we started like really mattering in the
Right.
NBA. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I looked at yesterday with Atlanta. And it's like that's why I tweeted out to the Heat Nation, like, yo, appreciate this shit, dude. I'm sitting in Atlanta and they got nothing to hang, dude. Yeah, they got a couple of nice names, but you've got Hall of Fame coaches, Hall of Fame players, titles. Holy shit, dude. We got a rich history in a very short time because the Orlando Magic have been around just as long, and so have the Charlotte Hornets, and they don't have the same to brag about. Now, I got a follow-up question that I want to take you down a path that I don't think anybody's gone down, which is what we like to do on this show. Will the Players Association look at these new rules, these new aprons, and start saying, you guys are putting roadblocks for teams to spend money, and you're making it so hard for them, and some of these owners are willing to pay the tax and willing to spend. You're setting it up in a way that you're not giving our players a maximum opportunity to make money.
Nope,
So
they signed off on the deal for 7 years for one reason. There are 2 words that are not in the collective bargaining agreement:
And
hard cap. And so the NBA kept coming back. NFL, NHL, hard cap, no. NHL, NFL, hard cap, no. And so they got close to a hard cap without being hard capped.
they Andy Ellisberg their asses.
Well, you know what? But the agreement is signed. These are the rules. And if nothing else, at least you have long-term clarity. Yes, the Players Association weren't thrilled, but they would be less thrilled. Right now, you still can have the owner like Phoenix or anyone else who could say, fine, here's $150 million every season.
He's the West Coast Steve Cohen that he just walked in, and it's like the Russian dude. He walks in with the nets. Oh, I'm going to spend. Yeah. I'm going to spend, and then he realizes. He did a lot of stupid things, and it didn't pay off. And then they cower back and go into their shell and disappear. And is that going to happen to Steve Cohen? Is that going to happen to what is it, Ibiza or Adria? What the hell's the name?
I think Matt Ishaba in Phoenix.
Yeah.
But the thing is, at least teams still have the choice. With a hard cap, they wouldn't. Then they'd be like the NFL. Well, we got to cut this guy, got to do that. Can't bring in this guy. So they have the choice at a penalty. That's what the NBA Players Association realized was the best of all worlds. Their players are getting paid just fine. They added an extra 2-way contract. That's an extra $500,000 contract per team. So that's how you negotiate.
I think in the next year or two, as these rules really set in, they're going to go, holy shit, we got bamboozled on this.
Well, they knew. They'll work around it. We will see.
Yeah. Yeah. It just seems like it's super punitive, dude.
It is.
It's just, and then you lose the $12.2 million exemption now. If you go over the first apron, you lose the $5 million exemption. If you go over the second apron, am I correct?
No exception. Second apron, the only free agents you can sign are minimum scale, and that's it. Starting next year, you can't aggregate if you're on the second apron, so you can't take Tyler plus Duncan for a bigger player. You can only trade with a player what Duncan makes or a player what Tyler makes. So you better get your books in order. That's why they gave him this 1 year exception. We'll
I hate
see.
that. And by the way, why do they want to make it more confusing for you and me to do our jobs?
Because it's going to be confusing anyway, because once you get the
Jesus
accountants involved,
Christ, man.
that's why we got into sports, so we didn't have to do math, and all we do in sports now is math.
Yeah, that's my problem. And I hate math, to be quite honest. I was so happy in school that I didn't even have to take math my senior year. You know that? My senior year, I coasted. I only had 2 requirements.
There you go.
It was a beautiful thing, man. God. Oh, man. All right. What do you got going on the Sun Sentinel? So
posting a story, Nikola Jovic going back to Summer League. They need him. He bulked up 20 pounds from last year. Summer League practice actually starts on Saturday. They'll be in Sacramento. I'll be talking to you next week about Summer League. 2 games in Sacramento, then off to the Vegas Summer League. This Summer League is going to be about Nikola Jovic, be about Jaime Jaquez Jr.
and point guard. We got to find a point guard.
I think the point guard will be found. I think the point guard comes as a veteran on a win-now team in free agency. And, of course, free agency starts.
I agree.
Yes.
I agree. But I think that they will at least try to find a young one that they may be able to develop again, because this is what they do.
Or find him on someone else's roster. So
Summer League is going to be fun because Jaime, Kane, Jovic, all these kind of cats. Oh, I don't know what's going to happen with your saving. What's your gut tell you there?
I don't think they qualify him. I don't think they're big fans. They're trying to save money. Orlando Robinson, Jamal Cain will be the guys they're looking at. Keep an eye on Orlando Robinson. He gave him some real productive minutes last season. So
all of a sudden, like always, this is a team that also makes Summer League fun. Right. You know what I mean? And so that I'm actually looking forward to that.
So I will catch you next week on Monday. We'll talk Summer League. I'll be out in Vegas the week after that. So we got plenty coming up. And, of course, free agency. I think by the time I talk to you on Monday, we'll at least know who's here, who might be coming, and how it's shaping up. Will be an interesting weekend.
All right. Follow him on Twitter at Ira Heatbeat and catch his work there at the South Florida Sun Sentinel. Ira, have a great weekend. Appreciate you.
Talk to you next week. Thanks, Big
Guy. Got it. All right. There you go. Ira Winderman and our Acura Pembroke Pines Miami Heat. An NBA report.
You've been listening to the Acura of Pembroke Pines Miami Heat and NBA report with Ira Winderman. When you're looking for award-winning service and great deals from the #1 volume Acura sales dealership in the Southeast United States, you go to Craig's Inn Acura of Pembroke Pines at 15601 Pines Boulevard in Pembroke Pines.
All right. There we go. Disconnected the damn headsets. Gotta go turn on the air, bro. It's already getting kind of sticky in here. Sticky. They make me learn all these new rules and all that. Like, sports is... It's not as fun if I gotta figure out all this cap crap, dude. Because it takes the reality out of it. Oh, wait a minute. Let me put on my headset again. Yes, sir. What were you going to say?
No, I want to ask a question because something Ira said if Ellisburg knew this was coming, then they might have done things differently. Did they not know that these rules were going to be coming down at all?
Clearly not. But that's why, this is why when I looked at the whole situation, I have to reassess everything, right? Because when I brought Ira on last week, I was kind of lost with this whole apron shit, you know? And so then, I started looking at it and assessing everything. And you guys know I was never part of the Beal trade. I never wanted him because, to me, it's you got to get rid of bad salaries. And they have way too many they've made so many fucking bad decisions. You know what I mean? That's put them in this position that now you can't keep Spruce. And it's really not I gotta be honest. It's not worth keeping any of them, because of the damage that it does to your cap. And it's their fault because they made the stupid ass Lowry move. Okay. They got suckered with Oladipo, right? And then the Duncan contract. That's effed up everything. So now you unfortunately have to go through a year. We're going to watch them win. They're going to go to the playoffs. They'll win their share of games. I don't know if they'll win a title. I don't think they'll win a title, but you never know with David Copperfield. That's the other thing. After this season, I don't put anything past, Eric Spoelstra. He's the freaking best. That guy is so good. It's not even funny how good of a coach that guy is. Okay. So I don't put anything past the guy. But you need this year to get rid of this stinking Lowry and Oladipo contracts. That's $40-something million, bro. You got to get rid of that money. And then hopefully Duncan can build on what he did, and maybe you can move him. You know what I'm saying? So, it's just tough, man. Really is tough. Let's see something here. So believe it or not, that's what you got to do. You've got to clear all that stuff up, and you got to get rid of all these bad salaries. And you just can't go and make a trade just to make a trade and add Zach LaVine because Joe fan doesn't know what the hell he's talking about, or Jane fan doesn't know what the hell she's talking about, and because they want Bradley Beal or Zach LaVine, and because they're not an educated fan, they think that those guys will take them over the top, which they won't. And you got the guy that's going to take you over the top is Dame. That's the guy that's the only guy available right now that I could add to this team and say, you got a shot at a title now. But without that guy, I'm not making a move for any of these other guys. And they can develop another Gabe. They can develop another Duncan. They can develop another Strus. They can, Highsmith is in the process of it. I love everything I saw from Highsmith. When he first got into the game in the playoffs, the first game or two, he was a little tentative, and I wanted him to loosen up a little bit more and play with more confidence. And he started doing that, and he was very effective to a point where a lot of you wanted him to play. Okay, which I kind of understand, but Highsmith now will get his opportunity, and I'm with Ira on this. I think Jaime is going to contribute right away, actually. He looks like a really smart and crafty player. I think he's going to have an Austin Reeves type of impact. Not the same kind of player, but I'm saying what I mean is he's going to make a quick transition to the NBA. His game translates quickly to the NBA because there's a lot of intelligence in Jaime's game. I think that was a really good pick. And I got to, and I'm not Mr. College basketball anymore, but I watched a whole bunch of his stuff and very impressed with him. So I think you have guys, and I can't wait to see Jovic play. He might add the rebounding you also need because he's got size and he's got length and he's grown, and he's got skill set also. And for a big guy, he can even, distribute and handle the ball a little bit and help you out there too. At least he can help facilitate. Let's put it that way. Okay. Hey, Sean, do me a favor. Send Joe Shad a link. I forgot. He's going to join us at 11. We're going to push Matt Verderame to tomorrow. Okay. So Joe Shad will start off hour number 2 on the program. All right. Yeah, Oladipo is getting away with robbery. You are correct. Let me go to the chat board here because I have not gone at all to the chat board here. First of all, Brian Walters, thank you, sir. I see you number 1 there. Marlins looking good yesterday. Yeah, it was good to see Sandy pitching well. How about Jazz, man? Gene Segura? That's good, man. These guys, they have surprised me with their offense. Got to admit, I didn't think that they would be scoring this much. Chapman says, time to talk all things Dolphins. Steve, we talk everything on this show, my brother. But, of course, Dolphins are always front and center. But you may not like what I'm going to say today too much about Tyreek and the Dolphins. Jamie Zorria is in the house. He says it's a hump day. Hope everyone's having a great week. Remember to smash the like button, please. Yes, smashing the like button is very important. Next to visiting our sponsors, and that's the reason why we can, you want us to add more insiders and all that, visit our sponsors like Caneswear and tell them that we sent you. So when you reach out to KSDT CPAs for your home or your business taxes, tell them that we sent you. If you go to Acura Pembroke Pines and you buy or lease a car, tell them we sent you. If you call EJD Construction, tell them we sent you. You know what I'm saying? So, it's very important you do that. Brian says, me and my woman are rolling Bitcoin at no way. Did Bitcoin jump up to 32? Don't do that to me. Don't do that to me, Brian. Did we have the pop and sizzle? No way. Or are you predicting that it's going to go to 32? Okay, no. Why are you messing with me? It's at 30,400. Still in the same area. Messing with me there. Messing with my. Remember, I got 5 stents in my heart. Don't do that to me. Anyway, what's it called? Omar Kelly writing articles about I know, isn't it hilarious? He spends his time saying that the cap is a fantasy and it doesn't work, and then he writes this bait click article on SI about the crisis and the cap and how they got to win now and all this, and it's like, listen, the cap is real. You do have to pay the piper. Okay? I tell you this all the time, don't I? About bait click and the media and all, and I love my man Omar, but I bust him on that shit here on the show right away. Okay? I don't let that shit fly with anybody. It doesn't matter who it is. You can't play both sides. And I'm reading that article and I'm just laughing because it's like, dude, you spend your time laughing at the cap saying it's not real. And now you're going to create some article for clickbait to make fans freak out, which, by the way, there's no reason to freak out. That article does nothing for me in the sense of any panic whatsoever. Did I not tell you that the Miami Heat need to keep themselves fluid? What do you think having all those free agents means? You keep yourself fluid. Don't worry about it. They'll be fine. They'll work things out. I'm not worried about that. I worry in 2 more years when you have to pay the quarterback. That's when the shit starts to hit the fan, because then I'm not worried about now. I'm worried about 2 years from now when Holland and Waddle and Phillips and Hunt and Tua, and all these guys now get on the books for big money, dude. That's when shit gets serious. And then Omar will be, oh, no, it's not serious. That's funny. But you guys know we have him on. We had him on here all the time. But I bust his ass all the time when he tries to play both sides of something. And the cap is one that, come on, bro. Hilarious. Duke Tomlinson, Giovanni, I see there. Frankie Fresco, Big Dan 305, Jay Gelfin. Let's see. Good morning, Big O Man. I can't. To get the number 1 spot? Got to work on my speed. Oh, okay. Number 1 on the show. Yeah, you got to be early, man. You got to be early. Usually they're in right before even the show starts. Steven Gonzalez is in. He says, hope the concert was great. How about those Marlins? I know, man. Amazing. Emilio says, good morning to the best in the business. Oh, you are the gold standard of truth in the media. No perpetuation of lies for clicks, straight knowledge, honesty, and reporting. Don't ever quit on us, bro. Don't quit on me. Hit the like button. Visit our sponsors. Very important. Don't quit on us, okay? That's the important part. Share. Tell people about the show. Subscribe. Go back and hit any video and hit the like button on videos you didn't. Watch them for a minute or two and hit the like button. You know? Tua time. Thank you very much for the super chat. Very nice of you, sir. Morning, Owen. Sean, just want to say thanks for keeping the show going even when you're out of town. Also, a big shout out to Sean and Frankie for going 2.5 hours Squared Circle Digest last night. Zion is coming. El Gordo is coming. What about La Flaca? If we're going to bring a Gordo, are we going to bring La Flaca at the same time? Speaking of that, how about segues for Gordo? Gordo! So, in the world of entertainment, did you know we have the list for the 2024 Star of Hollywood Walk of Fame? You know who's getting a star on the Walk of Fame next year? El Gordo y la Flaca. That's right. Raul de Molina and Lily Estefan are going to get a star on the Walk of Fame next year. You know who's also scheduled to get a star on the Walk of Fame next year in 2024? Def Leppard, Sammy Hagar, Darius Rucker, the Dolphins make me cry. Well, not this year, baby. They're going to make you happy. Gwen Stefani and those incredible legs. She's getting a star next year. Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace. Gal Gadot, she's getting one. Ken Jeong is getting one. Eugene Levy is getting one. Mario I Never Age Lopez is getting one. Jim Nance is getting one. Cheryl Lee Ralph in the evening. The real me comes alive. I can feel it. She's getting one. Billie Jean King is getting a star on the Walk of Fame. And Carl Weathers next year also getting a star on the Walk of Fame. How do you like that? You said Zion, you mentioned Gordo, and I went to the next Gordo. The one from the Spanish channel. How about that? That's a segue if I've ever seen a segue or somebody standing and driving a Segway. Speaking of segues, hour number 2. And we go to another man like Mario Lopez who never ages. Joe Shad, baby. That's right, our essentialmovingexperts.com Miami Dolphins exchange starts hour number 2.
Welton Rayom has more than 62 years of litigation experience handling insurance disputes. They're committed to resolving even the toughest insurance claims quickly. Call them for a free consultation. 954-966-4646. At Welton Rayom, they don't get paid unless you win. Property damage claims to your home, business, or condo as a result of a hurricane. Welton Rayom can help. Water, mold, fire, smoke damage, Welton Rayom can help. Call 954-966-4646. When you move, you need a reliable company led by passionate folks, eager to assist its customers during a transitional process that needs to be smooth. Call Essential Moving Experts at 844-368-5750 for all your local and long-distance moving needs. You can rely on Essential Moving Experts. Mention the Big O Show and get $150 off. Family owned and operated, they offer free 30-day storage, full-service moving, fully licensed, bonded, and insured. Moving was never so easy. EssentialMovingExperts.com. The viewpoint statements or beliefs expressed on the following program by the host, guests, or callers are not necessarily the opinions of FantasyXS.com, Media Group Inc. ownership, management, sponsors, or website. It's time to talk Aqua and Orange. Miami Dolphins fans. Here's a man with incredibly high standards. In fact, he isn't impressed with Tyreek Hill's dominance, Jalen Waddle's speed, or even Teron Armstead's swag. It's the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Joe Shad. When you're looking to move your home or business anywhere in the U.S. from coast to coast, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Call 305-602-8369. Let's talk football. Here's Joe Shad.
God, there he is. How you feeling, my man? Uh-oh. Mic off?
How are you, my guy?
There we go. There we go. I'm good, bro. Saw The Cure last night here in Atlanta. Going to see him again tonight for the second night. And then I'll fly back tomorrow morning, and then I'll see The Cure again on Saturday in Miami.
Oh, my goodness.
So I get to see him 3 times this week and on this tour. So this is Robert's last tour, I think. So, we may not, he may do some festivals down the line here or there, but we may never see a major tour again from Robert Smith and The Cure. So
you go to see The Cure 3 straight times. And
yes.
I was looking at the Florida Panthers schedule for the upcoming season, which just came out. Mm-hmm. And the New York Rangers, my hometown team, visit only once. Not happy about that. They have, they're starting last year, they changed the schedule, made it more balanced. So you face some opponents less. Same thing with the Mets and the Marlins. Not great that the Mets visit, I think it was in April, and then maybe they don't come back till September. So I don't like that. I like it when you play your divisional opponents more like we do in football.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. I like seeing bands multiple times that also change up their songs. Like tonight, they do 29 song set. That's what they do. And tonight they'll play easily 10, 12 different songs easily. So
it's nice to have that kind of library.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. That's the other thing. You have to have that kind of catalog in order to do something like that. And they have. There you go. That's how you better the. That's how you better the whole thing. You add. Is that a Labradoodle?
It's a Cavapoo Tucker.
A Cavapoo.
Yeah, Cavalier and Poodle.
What's a Cavalier? I've never heard of that. A Cavalier dog?
King Charles Cavalier.
Okay.
Say hi, Tucker.
Tucker.
Everybody likes dogs.
Yeah.
I did not want a dog until we got this guy. I mean, how could you not love that face?
Dude, dogs are the best. They're so lovable.
They're
therapy.
King Charles, I don't know. King Charles Cavalier, something like that. See, that's where the big years come from.
My dogs.
All right, Tucker, go play.
My dogs are therapy, bro. When I get home or whatever, I just get to relax downstairs and I'm hanging out with my dogs, and they're just they just bring joy to your life, man, all the time.
When I came home from my wisdom tooth surgery last Wednesday, he knew right away that I was in pain. It's just amazing.
Right. Yeah.
These dogs have a lot more empathy than most human beings I know.
Yeah, no, dogs are as special as they come. All right, so let's get to the down and dirty. I saw the latest details, the latest deets on the Tyreek situation, and this is a guy that was in the middle of kind of rehabbing his career in a sense. Not on the field. That's never needed any kind of rehab. It's kind of been the off the field stuff. And unfortunately now with this, it will unearth the old stuff, and he'll get labeled like he hasn't changed and all that kind of stuff. Because if it's true that his buddies were fishing on another boat and they told him not to fish, and then he got out of line and smacked the guy and then wanted to pay him $200 to keep him shut and all that, and tell him that, who I am, I'm number 10. If this is all true, these kind of details, man, this story just gets uglier. And unfortunately, because of his history, Joe, I think the Dolphins are going to end up missing Tyreek Hill at one point or another if this is true.
It'd be interesting to see if the NFL actually, does impose a suspension. We'll have to wait for it to play out. I haven't seen the video. Supposedly, there's a video, so we need to see exactly. And I know that the NFL can suspend you even if you're not charged.
Yeah, that has nothing to do with it. Yeah, exactly.
Obviously, there's different levels of different levels of incidents, and this would not be one of the more serious levels of incidents of things that can happen in the off season. But we have to wait and find out exactly what comes out. Hold on. Kendall! Sorry. I need my daughter to take the dog out.
But I'm with you. I don't think it'll be anything big, but I think he'll get a game out of this. If these facts are true, just the simple facts that you're showing me with his track record.
Slapping a guy on, what was it, on the back of the neck?
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, is that
it's his track record? You're right. If he had never had one, I don't think he gets anything.
My gut reaction is that slapping a guy on the back of the neck, if that's literally all that happened, is not, worthy of an NFL suspension. That's my opinion.
It wouldn't be. I agree with you. It wouldn't be if you didn't have a history. But because of his history, I can see them sending a message like, yo, here's a game, get your ass back in line. And to be quite honest, if it's all true, this is incredibly stupid on Tyreek's part. Just really dumb on his part. Like, bro, you got to know who you are. And don't use it a way to abuse your power. Use it as the way you've been using it, which has been a fabulous way of using your power. This is going to be a bad look for him if it's true. It's just.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, no one's going to be a huge fan of the do you know who I am? I could buy you and the boat and all that sort of thing. But we don't know. I wasn't there, so I don't know exactly what was said. We have to wait for the facts to play out. We have to hear from Tyreek. Kendall, can you take Tucker out, please?
Yeah, the only reason why is, I saw the Channel 10 report, and they have access to the police. So somebody in the police department must have given them the deets on what happened on the film and all that kind of stuff. So it's just kind of, when they start telling you about, this is allegedly what's on the film and this, that, and you're like, okay.
Yeah, but what are you hearing? I mean, we're not hearing about broken bones or punched in the face or kicked or any of that stuff.
I don't think any of that needs to. In his case, I don't think that needs to be a part of it. If it was an isolated incident, I'm with you. But
how many years has it been since Tyreek Hill had to converse with the NFL?
Oh God, I want to say like 3 years. I want to say something like that. Look it up, Sean. Look up Tyreek's last incident or whatever it was. I want to say it was 3. 4
I feel like it was more than that.
Maybe 4, no more than that. But he was in the NFL because he had one before in college, going into the NFL, which they couldn't do anything about, and then the other incident or 2, I think, early in his career. But I think that's the only reason why I could see him serving 1 game, because of the track record stuff.
So the Dolphins open at the Chargers, right? Yeah. So that would be disappointing, certainly.
Yeah. What do you got there for us?
All right. So he pleaded guilty to domestic assault in 2015 and was investigated for alleged battery in 2019.
That's it. That's the one 4 years ago. Yeah. The one you're talking about, 15, was the one before he went into the NFL out of college, and then the one 2019, which was 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yeah. I figured it was like 3-4 years ago. And so that's the only reason why I think we're at risk of watching him serve a game. If it's done by then, which I would imagine, if there's no legal thing going on and it's not in court, then yeah, it'll be done before the season starts for sure. Right?
Yeah, no, I mean, it's just if we'll see how it plays out. Obviously, the NFL's suspension history has varied wildly, so it can be somewhat unpredictable.
It is. It is unpredictable. You are correct on that. Dalvin Cook, I got to say, this is one of the funniest stories I have read. So all of a sudden now he has an offer from the Dolphins? You mean the offer that was made 2 weeks ago?
Well, it doesn't matter when something gets reported. If it's accurate, it's accurate. So, yeah, if it's accurate, it's accurate.
He already had the offer.
Okay.
Why is it being reported now?
Well, so as you know, sometimes it takes time for things to be reported.
Yeah, well, maybe they're listening. Maybe they're watching the wrong person or listening to the wrong people because, I don't know, there's somebody on a platform that told them right away that he met with the Dolphins and that the Dolphins gave him an offer. And that's it. I don't know why, but I don't know. There's somebody out there told him. Weird. Just funny. So what do you think happens now?
Well, listen, I mean, Dalvin Cook is going on shows basically saying he wants to be a Dolphin. His agent is going on shows basically saying he wants to be a Dolphin. I mean, that's pretty rare. Like, when do you hear all of this? It's pretty rare.
Right.
So I would like to think that the Dolphins, Dalvin Cook and his agent can get together on a 1-year deal at a reasonable club-friendly rate.
That's right.
$5.5 million with a little bit of incentives.
Mm-hmm.
And let's see how it goes. And then Dalvin's a smart guy, and he understands that if he rushes for 1,200 yards and helps lead the Dolphins to at least the AFC Championship game, there will then be a groundswell of pressure to give him a big deal for 3 or 4 years. So he has every opportunity to come in, become one of the most popular players in Dolphins history in 1 year on a club-friendly deal, lead them to the AFC Championship or the Super Bowl, and then get a long-term deal after that. That's what I think. That's what I think should happen.
It's interesting because it's like, I don't know. There's a platform out there for 2 months told you Dolphins would never trade for him. Dolphins would never give big money for him. And then there's a platform out there that told you, the Dolphins want a club-friendly type deal. That's all he's going to get from the Dolphins. And then we told you, there's going to be no big money out there for him. And the longer
there's no big money for any running back.
That's kind of what I've been saying for a while now, that position is not respected in this league anymore. There are no bell cows anymore. Derrick Henry is a dying breed. You know what I'm saying? Besides being a freak that doesn't exist. But what I mean is a bell cow. These things just don't exist anymore. And, he's going – I think he got the wake-up call now. But as time goes on, he becomes a Dolphin, right? Because he's not going to get the big-time deal out there. And if anybody offers him a little bit more money, it'll probably be from a state where they have taxes. It probably will be a team that is not as good. So every day that this lasts longer, it bodes well for the Miami Dolphins.
In almost all cases, the athlete takes the money, even if they have to go to Cleveland or Detroit. My dog is going nuts. Tucker, come here. Come. He's on the living room table. Okay. What is going on? I don't know why he's going nuts. I think he misses his mom. His mom had to go get her computer fixed because she got the blue screen of death.
Okay.
So I think he's freaking out a little bit, like, where's my mom? But listen, athletes usually take the money. But in this case, I think it's more likely than not, based on everything we're seeing and hearing, that Dalvin ends up with the Dolphins. I would say 60-40. That's common sense.
Yeah, I'm going 80% Dolphins.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, 80. Because as time goes on, it convinces me even more that he's going to have to take this deal because there's no money out there for him. Nobody's offering him big money. And any money that's out there available to him, it's only a little bit more than Dolphins, and it's not worth it at that point. He'd rather sign with his hometown. As I reported 2 weeks ago, that the Dolphins made him an offer. They know exactly where they're coming from, and that he was willing to take a 1 or 2 year deal for the right team. So all of that is played out, and I think that's what's going to happen. He's going to sign a 1 year deal with the Dolphins with some nice team incentives if he's smart. Don't go individual incentive because you're not going to hit a lot of individual incentives. You know what I'm saying? So don't worry about it, bro. I don't get flustered with dog barking. I have 4 of them, so it's all good. I'm used to doing things with, noise around me. You're the one that's getting a little flustered out there.
I didn't grow up with dogs. And, I grew up in New York, in Queens, and we in an apartment, small apartment. We were only allowed to have fish and birds. So I love fish. That's how I started loving going to like aquariums and everything because we had a fish tank. Do you have a fish tank?
Yeah. Well, we don't have one now, but when I was a kid, I had a couple of fish tanks. Yes, definitely. I had one fish tank that I would use fish from a cemetery to put them in there because there was a cemetery by my house off of 8th Street. And
what's a cemetery?
Like where they bury people and they're dead.
A cemetery. Okay.
Yes, cemetery. So why did I pronounce it wrong?
Cemetery.
Oh, I did. Okay. Well, anyway, so they had this big ass pond, right?
Okay. So you stole fish from the dead. That's great.
Yeah, exactly. We would go. No, but the caretaker of the place would see us bike in, and he knew that we were going to go take because that pond had thousands of fish in it, bro. And it was actually.
I just saw something on social media about a woman who got caught stealing flowers from the cemetery, and they caught her. They caught her by putting an air tag in the flowers. And so they show the video of going to her house, and she's got all the flowers from the dead people planted outside her house.
That is awesome. No, this is the 70s. 70s is a different era, bro. It's a different life. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, they didn't do anything to us. They had guppies and swordfish and
swordfish.
Swordfish, they're like the orange ones with the little sword on the back end.
Did you see the video of the dude that got bit by a shark and the little shark pulls him off the boat into the water?
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
That was awesome.
That was some crazy stuff. Did he lose anything? Did he lose anything in his hand?
I feel like he had to lose a finger.
Yeah, I don't know what the follow-up is because shark teeth are kind of sharp, dude. You can easily lose a finger or two with a nice little snack there. But anyway, they had goldfish, swordfish, guppies, black guppies, they had all kinds, dude. It was really cool. So that's why we would go there. And so that tank, one of my tanks just had those kind of fish because I didn't mix them with the other ones that I would buy. So, that's kind of – and by the way, those fish were tough as nails. They would last forever because they were already durable from being on the outside pond.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's a beautiful thing. Oh, man. All right. So So you've got 60% Dalvin Cook becoming a Miami Dolphin officially. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, I think more likely than not, which is pretty good considering it's a luxury addition.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's like a Birkin purse you don't need, right? Birkin, is that the expensive one? I think so.
I don't know my purses, so I'm not exactly sure. Are you looking forward to watching some of the most uncomfortable television you've ever seen on Hard Knocks when you see Aaron Rodgers on it?
Yeah, I wonder if he says something really damaging.
Oh, they'll edit that shit out.
Okay.
They'll edit it out.
If he advises if he advises his teammates to take some bizarre concoction.
Right. They have an NFL person and a Jets person in the editing room. The NFL people will eliminate any of the wacky things that he might say about hallucinogens and all kinds of shit like that. They're going to eliminate.
I hope Bradley Chubb and Jalen Phillips and Christian Wilkins learn all the Jets snap counts.
Yeah,
it's unlikely to happen. I know someone said it happened once, that a player or two said that they picked up snap counts from Hard Knocks. So we'll see.
You know what? They look at football at another way than we do, and they see things that we would never see. So, I can't put it past them because they're kind of looking at things at another level than us. So
I'm looking forward. I want to see. I'm looking forward to getting to know Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson and Brees. Is it Hall?
Hall, yeah. Good player.
Yeah, the Jets have a lot of good players. It'll be really interesting. I'm looking for. Hard Knocks has been boring for a while, but this Jets one could be interesting.
Yeah. No, that's not true. Detroit was fun last year. I enjoyed that one. You didn't enjoy the man Campbell? Come on, Dan the Man.
Do you think
he was?
Do you think there's a little bit of a caricature kind of deal going on, or do you think that's completely genuine and sincere and who he is?
Oh no. I believe he's genuine. No.
But does he feed into the character?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And he should because it's kind of who he is. You know what I'm saying? So there's a level of honesty in feeding into that character because he's a guy that truly loves football and really loves his players and all that. And I got to tell you something. We'll see this year. This year will prove that what he did last year wasn't an aberration. I'm not a fan of rah coach thing. To me, that burns out really quickly.
Well, it's kind of like Dabo Sweeney in it's kind of like Dabo Sweeney in college football. He's kind of like the CEO motivator,
right?
And then what he has is excellent coordinators who operate excellent schemes.
Exactly.
So you need to have the coordinators and the players. And Jared Goff, for example, appears to be pretty good.
He played his best football, even better than the Rams. Because with the Rams, he was more like a facilitator with all the great talent around him. Last year, he was a quarterback, really running the offense. I was really impressed. I'm ready to say I'm wrong this year with Dan the Man. It looks like maybe he is the real deal and not just a rah guy.
Needs the right coordinators and systems because he's a good leader of men, no question.
Yeah.
But you can't just have that.
No.
You got to have the players and the systems.
Yeah, you gotta have substance. And by the way, we were talking. I think it was with Cam. Mike McDaniel is made for that freaking show. He would the entire country would fall in love with Mike McDaniel if he was doing Hard Knocks.
No, I agree. I mean, he'd obviously be a star.
Yeah, he would be. People would love his ass. All right, we will catch up next week, my friend. Enjoy your vacation. Maybe Dalvin Cook will give us some news by next week. All right?
It would be interesting. They got plenty of stars already.
You got it. Catch him next week here every Wednesday, baby. Follow him on Twitter at Shad Joe and catch his work there at the Palm Beach Post. Joe, we'll catch up next week. Enjoy your time off, my friend.
All right.
Thank you. You got it. There you go. Joe Shad, baby. Getting it done. We love it. And our essentialmovingexperts.com Miami Dolphins report. And of course, when you call my guy Sean Williams and the great people at Essential Moving Experts, no surprise charges, flat rates, no surprise charges. So the rate they give you is the rate you're going to get, and safe and efficient loading and unloading practices at all times. They've got over 1,700 happy customers that have filed in and said, hey, we love Essential Moving Experts service, and you will too, nationwide. So it doesn't matter if you're in Kentucky or in Florida or in California or in New York. If you're moving within the city, within the county, within the state, from state to state, across the country, they can handle it all for you at Essential Moving Experts. Give them a ring, 386-213-4054. Call my guy, Sean Williams. Make your plans now. A lot of people are moving in the summer, so make sure you call ahead of time. Don't call last minute. And you're going to have a hard time getting a moving service. So please call the great people at essentialmovingexperts.com.
You've been listening to the Essential Moving Experts Miami Dolphins Exchange with Joe Shad. When you're looking for local, home, long moving services or office relocation, call Essential Moving Experts at 305-602-8369. Flat rates and no surprise charges. EssentialMovingExperts.com. Call 305-602-8369. Miami Dolphins fans, follow Big O Radio Show on all platforms to keep up with your favorite NFL team.
Yeah. Strafasi says, Omar Kelly was talking about the cap again and saying that this is probably our last year for our Super Bowl window. I don't believe that, and saying how we haven't been drafting well. Actually, they've been kicking ass in the draft. They've been kicking ass post-draft. They're kicking ass, adding coaches. They're just kicking ass, bro. And the window isn't Tua here next year and the year after and the year after, and the window's here. We're fine. I'm not worried about it. Big O, why are you going to go to the Coke factory? Well, because I'm in Atlanta, dude. It's home. And plus, Greeper wanted to go, so I went. Don't worry about it. Wasn't like I was cheating or anything like that. I went and saw it, and I said, and listen, I'm glad I went because I threw away $23. And now I can tell you not to throw away $23. So I'm glad that I took the hit for a lot of you out there. So when you come visit Atlanta and somebody says, oh, let's go watch the Coke. No, don't. Don't. You tell that person, hey, I know somebody that told me it sucked and it's not worth the money. It's a waste of money. And then when that person goes, they may not know what they're talking about, and you go anyway, then you tell them after, okay, if it sucks, you got to give me $23. Okay? And it will suck. And you'll get your 23 back. Now, you won't get the 2 hours that you wasted. You're not getting that back. My God, you got to go into the vault where the secret formula is. And all it is a fake vault with the Coke on it. They don't give you any secret. Of course, they're not going to give you the secret formula and nothing. It's just, it's a waste of time, dude. It really is. It's just, they should have like just an area where the tasting, that's it. That's the only thing. And that's if you want to drink all those shitty drinks that they have all over the world. By the way, that is one thing that I did taste yesterday. A bunch of shitty drinks. Frankie Fresco, thank you for the love in the super chat. He says AEW Wednesday, Dr. Britt Baker versus Ruby Soho in the Owen Hart tournament. Isn't that the dude that dove from like some kind of shit and fell and then died or some crap like that years ago? And thanks to everyone who tunes into the Squared Circle show and Big O show. Yes, sir. That's right. I didn't get to watch you guys yesterday. I was a little busy last night. Sorry, guys. Just a tad busy last night, so I couldn't tune in. But I'm sure you guys kicked ass because you always do. Britt Baker and Ruby Soho. You know, I'm going to go with the doctor. Yeah. I mean, this time he's going to make a house call, Britt Baker, and goodbye, Ruby Soho. Who could hang a name on you? Yeah, so, you know, you're gone. So Ruby Soho is history. Okay? What are you correcting me on now?
I just want to let you know the doctor is actually a dentist.
Well, he's going to extract. She is going to extract Ruby Soho's ass out of that ring.
And Ruby Soho comes out to rancid.
And she is rancid. Okay? So not only is she listening to rancid, she is rancid. All right? She's like a cavity. And the doctor is in the house to eliminate those cavities. So at the end of the night, you'll be saying, goodbye, Ruby Soho. That's it. Okay? So I'm going with the doc, Britt Baker. That's it. How do you like them apples? What do I get? A thumbs up, thumbs down? What am I getting? Wow, it's like 1 3/4. I'm getting one thumbs up, and then the other thumb is like
Here's
going
the
like
problem.
this.
I almost feel like this is a setup because of the way the brackets go, the winner of this match versus Sky Blue. And I don't think Britt Baker is versing Sky Blue. So I think somebody's going to cost Britt Baker the match, and then Ruby Soho will face on because Sky Blue's got a thing going right now with the Outcasts, so which is the group Ruby Soho's with. So normally I would say you're right, but I believe there's going to be something happening here to go the other way. That's why you get the blinker.
Okay. All right, we'll find out. Let's see. If you ever visit Milwaukee, visit the Lakefront Brewery. They have a tour that ends with the Laverne and Shirley intro, globe over the beer bottles, and rolls out in the exact same conveyor belt. That is awesome. Cool as he puts. That is awesome. All right, I'll check that out if I ever go to Milwaukee. Bradster says, I see Ruby winning, setting up that match with Sky Blue. So he agrees with you. I like the push they're giving Sky, but I don't think she's ready yet. She has to be able to cut a promo. Okay. DJ Ozone says, good morning, y'all. Heat got to the final, sadly lost. Panthers as well. Marlins are balling out. Hopefully they can win it all, but mostly the Finns. Finns, bring home the Lombardi, please. Dave says, morning, all. Glad to hear the Fix is still around. I saw them 3 times in the 80s. Big fan. Well, I saw them plenty of times in the 80s, plenty of times in the 90s, and plenty of times in the 2000s and through 2010, 2010 through 2020, and now I'm going to see them again. So I never stop seeing the Fix. I love the Fix. Oh, before the New Orleans Saints won the Super Bowl, they had a couple of division champion banners and a banner for the fans in the Superdome. That's reaching. Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Saints were really bad, dude. You know? They have a Chick-fil-A museum? Oh. Did not know that. I know this is home for Chick-fil-A, but I did not know there was a Chick-fil-A museum. Yeah, I know to a time that the concert shirts were $25. It's crazy. Crazy. Bruce Springsteen didn't give my money back for the tickets to his show. No, he'll charge you even more. He is as capitalistic as they get, bro. I try to get Vucevic on the cheap. You're not going to get him on the cheap. Not going to happen. They're not going to be players in free agency. The only free agency they'll get is like, you know, a cheap contract or something, but a minimum deal. You know. Hey, throughout your career, who was the one dream interview that you did or didn't accomplish yet? Dude, let me tell you something. Doing the Marino retirement at the stadium and hosting that on QAM, that was my favorite thing that I ever did. Because Dan is obviously my favorite player of all time. I got nothing but freaking love for Dan Marino, bro. He is just, you know, everything for me as a Dolphin fan. Kills me every day that he didn't win a title because they didn't give him the stuff he needed. You know, everybody needs. It's funny how these Tua haters, right? Oh, Tua needs the perfect. No, dude, everybody needs a perfect team practically. You need luck, you need a defense, you need a running game, you need an offensive line, you need a coach. If you don't have those things, it's really hard to win a title. You know, I'm not saying it's absolutely impossible. Sometimes your team is so dominant, i.e. Tampa Bay Bucks, Denver Broncos, in 2016 or whatever, when, you know, Manning won it with no arm, or hell, Greasy back in 73. I mean, the guy threw 6 passes in the Super Bowl. How much effort does it take for the quarterback? 6 passes? Not a lot, because your line was so dominant, your running game was so dominant, your defense was so dominant. So yeah, there are instances in time where your team is so dominant that maybe the quarterback doesn't have to do much, but Marino never had those kind of things. You know what I mean? And it's funny how when people say, oh, well, Tua needs this, every quarterback needs it, dude. Every quarterback. And if the quarterback doesn't need it, then that means your team is so dominant that your quarterback doesn't have to be special, i.e. Trent Dilfer. You know? And it's just one of those deals where that was when we did that retirement and all that, and I hosted it, and it was great, and actually went really smooth for me too in hosting it. That was probably my favorite there, doing everything. Um, Sugar Ray Leonard was a great interview. Plus, I also did a broadcast with him where I was the play-by-play guy, or blow-by-blow, right, is what they do in boxing. But I was a play-by-play guy, and he was the color guy, so that was cool. He was there to recruit some of the Cuban boxers that were there. I think he got one of them. If I'm correct, I think he went on to manage one of them. I think. What else? I'm trying to think. It's been a long ass career on things that were like interviews that I really. I don't know. Might be those right there. I'm trying to think of something. Obviously, I never got to do Jordan one-on-one. It was always like in groups and things like that. So those don't count. Yeah, it's tough. Trying to think of something that would top those. Not easy. Not easy to top those. There used to be a restaurant in Buckhead, Dante's Down the Hatch, had a ship inside the building and gators in the moat. Fondue. I loved it. Okay. Brad Johnson was another QB that had, right, stacked team. Exactly. Britt dates a woman, though, at least he's built like a fragile woman. Okay. All right. Good to know dating habits of others. If Dan Campbell was a person on the boat, he would have pulled up the shark with his bare hand. Probably. Let's see. Oh no. Oh, I hope it didn't want to make you drink that soda again. No. Underground Atlanta is one of my favorite spots. I can shop like a soccer mom. I've been to Underground Atlanta. It's cool too. I agree. Show more Tucker. Screw the Finns news. Cook going to Finns. Hill getting a game. Okay. We got it there. The Miami Dolphins is not paying him over $6 million, so he's not coming to the Miami Dolphins, but the Jets will probably pay him $12 million because the Miami Dolphins won't pay a lot of money. I don't think the Jets can pay that much money either. And I don't think the Jets will pay that much money. So I don't know. We'll see. I think he ends up with the Dolphins. And a really team-friendly deal, $4.5 million or something. Some incentives maybe. Get him to 5.5 or 6. But probably a $4.5 million salary or something like that. I don't think he's going to get a lot of money. I think he's going to take a severe pay cut, but he'll have a chance to win here. You know, so I don't know. I think it would be a pretty cool thing if you can acquire him. Anyway, Tyreek Hill. The news for Tyreek Hill, I got to say, if it's true, I saw this Channel 10 report, and I'm going to go by what they say. I'm going to tell you what I think. If this report is true, that his friends were fishing off someone else's boat that wasn't theirs, and the person that works at the marine dock told them, hey, you got to get off of that boat. That's not your boat. And Tyreek Hill pulled the, you know who I am. I can buy you and the boat and the marina. I'm number 10 from the Dolphins, all that. And then apparently he smacked the guy in the back of the head, in the neck, whatever. And then tried to get one of his friends to pay the guy off $200 so he can stay quiet. And the guy did not accept the money. Okay. If all of this is true, that there's on video him smacking him, the audio part, whatever, that part I don't care. But the part I do care about is, if you are using that, do you know who I am bullshit, and I'm number 10 from the Dolphins, and I can buy you and the marina, or the boat and the marina, whatever it was. If you're using and then insulting somebody by having your friend walk over to give him $200 so he can stay quiet, if this is what you're doing, then you haven't learned a goddamn thing. You know what I mean? You know, Tyreek, you've handled yourself beautifully here, bro. You're a fantastic player. You've connected well with the fan base. You've connected with kids. Brother, if you did do any of this stuff that they're talking about, and this is how you're running your mouth because of who you are, you think you can buy your way out of things, and that's our society's fault, because we've created monsters like that all over entertainment, politics, sports, everywhere. It doesn't matter who you are, dude. Okay? And men of power, and maybe even some women at times that come into power, they abuse it because we allow them to abuse it, because we've given them the green light to abuse it. So if this is the case, okay, maybe it's not, but I'm going by the report I saw on Channel 10, and they're usually pretty good with the PIOs and all that kind of stuff. And when they start saying, well, there's a video, and this is what they say is on the video, and then this is what I'm told happened, and that's because they're getting it from some kind of police source that is part of the investigation. And they talk. And when the state attorney took locally, they might have passed up on this investigation, but because it's Tyreek Hill, because it's a Miami Dolphin, because it's a prominent name, state attorney picks up on it because it's an election time, baby. And so brings, good buzz for you as the politician. So bad luck for Tyreek also at the same time. But this has nothing to do with politics or timing or somebody trying to grab a headline. The real problem is, if Tyreek is thinking this way, this is going to be a problem again down the line. So I tell you all the time, people that have money and fame, like Tyreek, or an entertainer or a musician or a politician, be careful who you hang out with. Do not hang out with the people that will bring you down, even if they're your friends or family members. And I'm not sure if that's the case, but if your friends are playing on another boat and you didn't have the balls to tell your friends, hey, idiots, you want to get me in trouble? What are you doing on that boat? That's not my boat. This is our boat. Get your ass over here before somebody tells me something, and then I'm the one that's going to get in trouble. That's what Tyreek is supposed to do. He's supposed to call out his friends, if this is true, that they're on another boat. He's the one that needs to take the leadership there. Kind of like what he's done with the Dolphins as a football player. Well, you need to show some leadership qualities as a human being. You're the prominent person there. You're the one that's paying for everything anyways. Okay? Your friends are probably having fun on your money. So since they're on your dime, you need to step up as a man and call them out. Not try to cover up for their stupid ass by then going to hit a 57-year-old man and then insulting the guy by trying to buy him off with $200. And then pulling the "do you know who I am" card. So Tyreek, dude, come on, man. If this is true, as Scarface would say, get your head out of your culo. The other thing that I want to talk about in Dolphin land also, and I laugh at all of this because it's just funny. So all of a sudden now, Dalvin Cook got an offer from the Dolphins. Dalvin Cook got the offer from the Dolphins the second he got released. Within 24, 36 hours of him being released, he met with Miami. Miami made their offer. They told him exactly where they were coming from. There was no new offer. Not that they're saying it's a new offer. They're just saying it's an offer now. They're making it sound like, and he's making it sound, but the media has now run with it. That was 2 weeks ago, dude. Or whatever date exactly he got released. Within 36 hours of his release, he had already met with the Dolphins. He wants to be a Dolphin. More than anything else, he doesn't want to be a Jet. He doesn't want to be a Carolina Panther. He doesn't want to be a New York Giant. He doesn't want to be a Green Bay Packer. He doesn't want to be a Raider. He doesn't want to be a Ram. He doesn't want to be a Cardinal. He wants to be a Miami Dolphin. Don't kid yourselves. That's why he met with the Dolphins first and foremost. That's why the Dolphins know that he wants to be a Dolphin. And that's why the Dolphins pretty much are in the driver's seat here. Because they're not in a hurry to sign him, and they don't really need him. He's a luxury right now. It would make them better. But nothing's changed. It's amazing how this story gets so blown out of proportion. Let's go back to 2 months ago. Oh, the Dolphins can't wait to trade for Cook. No, that's not true. Oh, the Dolphins can't wait till he's released. They're going to sign him up right away. That's not true. Oh, he's now weighing an offer from the Dolphins. That's not true. He was given the offer way before already. I mean, none of this has been reported accurately at all. None of it. There's only one place that's reported all of this accurately. Right here. Nowhere else have they reported the Dalvin Cook situation accurately. Not one outlet has reported it accurately. The only one, this one, right here. Not a TV, not a radio, not a newspaper, not a magazine, no one. Everyone, I want to say, has pretty much gotten it wrong. I'm not sure what's going on here. I'm talking about with the media. I know what's going on with the Dolphins and Dalvin Cook because I've been keeping you, locked in step. Okay? Because nobody else reported it the way I did. So I'm not sure what the hell's going on with the rest of the media. Okay? But, this Dalvin Cook situation, the good thing for you Dolphin fans out there, you guys that wanted to trade for him, you were wrong. You guys that thought they would sign him, you were wrong. Okay? They weren't going to give him any big money. They weren't going to sign him right away. None of that. If he wanted to sign a team-friendly deal when he got out, he could have done that. But the good thing is, those of you that wanted to overpay, draft, or money, okay, you suck as a GM, but you'll get your wish because eventually he's going to sign with the Dolphins under Chris Greer's terms. And this is why he's an ass-kicking GM. So if Dalvin wants money, then dude, go play for a shitty team that somehow offered you money and enjoy the. You know what? You're Dane Lillard. If that's what you want, bro, you want to stay in Portland, then bro, stay in Portland. Now shut the hell up and don't whine anymore about your situation. I don't even want to hear it. Okay? I'm tired of Damian Lillard. Okay? I'm tired of it. So if you can't make the move this offseason and he doesn't, then just move on from him because, bro, that guy's like a woman. I mean, I've met women that are more decisive than he is. But he's one of those women or maybe your buddy that can't make a decision. Holy shit, dude. That guy doesn't know what the hell he wants. Freaking amazing. Anyway. Calvin Cook. That's some funny shit, dude. That's some funny shit. I mean, yeah, I know. The crap that gets reported nowadays, man. And, it's like the whole thing with Tua. Oh, the Dolphins are trying to get his replacement. No, they're not, dude. Or, no, they're not, ma'am. You're wrong. Oh, my God. What can I tell you? What do we got on the chat board? Let's see. AJ Hawk used to have piranhas talk about it on the Pat McAfee show. Raging, Tyreek has had such a positive impact on Tua. I would have hoped Tua would have had an influence on Tyreek, and this would have never happened. That's the kind of shit that will never happen to Tua. That'll never happen to Tua. Tua will diffuse all of that. Hey guys, get off the. Hey, I'm sorry. We'll get the guys off the boat, and nobody would have ever found out about it. Why would you get in trouble on something so stupid like that? If your friends are on another boat, you are the man in charge there. So you do what Tua would do in that situation. Oh, hey guys, come on, man, get off that boat. That's not our boat. Hey, I apologize, man. I'm really sorry about that. And that's it. Hey, that'll never happen again. Boom. And when the guy leaves, Tua won't do this, but I would do this to my two friends. Hey, you fucking idiots. You understand that you're out here with me, and then this guy comes out and now that looks bad on me? Because that's where I would go off on my friends. I would expect more from my friends to not make me look like an asshole. That's who Tyreek should smack in the back of the head. You know what I mean? If Tyreek had real leadership in him at that moment, if this is the case, that his friends were on another boat fishing and they weren't supposed to be on that boat. So maybe they were fishing for tarpon on another boat. And the guy comes and says, hey, that's not your boat. You guys need to get off. Tyreek has to diffuse the situation, apologize profusely to the guy that runs the Marine, respect, as we would say in South Park, respect my authority. Because that's a man in charge of his job. Tyreek Hill, if it's true, do you know who I am, is basically saying, I don't care what your job is. You're a shit. You're a pawn in my world. You don't matter to me. I can do what I want because I'm Tyreek Hill. That's what that sounds like. That's how it comes off. And that's exactly what he was thinking if that's what he did. If he told that Marine guy, hey, do you know who I am? I'm number 10. I can buy this boat in the entire Marine. That's telling him, you don't matter in this world. I and my people can shit all over you. That's what, and if somebody hasn't explained that to Tyreek, then somebody, hey, call me over. I'll have that conversation with Tyreek. I'll tell him exactly how he came off. If that's what he did, if he pulled the do you know who I am card, and I can buy the boat and the entire Marine, that's where you're off. Okay? You walk into McDonald's, you respect the employee at McDonald's. You respect the manager. Okay? You go and sit down and somebody's shining your shoes, treat them with respect. Don't treat people lesser because you make more money than they do. Don't think you're more important because you do a job that's in a spotlight and the person that is manning the bathroom and giving you a towel, you don't talk down to that person. And we have a tendency of people in this world who are rich, who are powerful, who are famous in all walks of life, not just sports, and they treat people like shit because they think their lesser job is less important. And that's how Tyreek came off that moment, if that's what he did, if that's what his friends did. Because if I'm Tyreek, my friends would be hearing about it for the next hour. And they would it would be followed up with a threat after that. That is a promise. And dude, I don't give a shit who you are. Okay? I don't care if you're my best friend or a regular friend or whatever. I would tell them, hey, dude, you do that kind of shit to me again, you'll never come out with me again. I don't need this, dude. I live in a fishbowl. That's who Tyreek is. That's whoever, any famous person, they live in a fishbowl. So everything is going to get magnified. So I don't need your stupid ass getting me in trouble or embarrassing me. And then that's when you whack them on the back of the head. Not the Marine guy. He's doing his job. He is protecting everyone's boat. Because Tyreek, if you had a boat out there and then some punky kids jumped on your boat and started fishing and maybe dirtying the floor or whatever, you would be pretty pissed, wouldn't you? And then you know who you'd get pissed at? The Marine guy for not protecting your boat. So I told you guys, you're not going to like what I got to say about it. Because when you're wrong, and we have to call it like we see it. And if Tyreek really did this, okay, and more people are coming out, it's kind of matching what they're saying about all of this. If that's the case, then he has no case, okay, and he will face a suspension. I predict I predict he won't be playing in the Chargers game. Okay, that's my prediction, and I'm sticking to it. If there's video of him smacking that guy at the back of his head with his history, done. If he didn't have a history, maybe he gets away with no suspension. But I think he's going to lose a game. Yeah. You got to kind of send the message if you're the NFL, because clearly he didn't learn a damn thing, because he doesn't know how to handle that situation. So you would like to think that Tua has had influence on him, but probably not. Let's see, what else do we have? I agree with you. Problem is, in reality, in this world, anyone with money and looks has an advantage in life. Exactly. We see it with Harvey Weinstein. We see it with all kinds of people in all walks of life, that they get away with their power, and sometimes it catches up, like the Weinstein situation, thank God. But eventually, a lot of people, just get away with it. If the video had enough to make him look bad, TMZ would have bought a Filthy Cat. That's ridiculous. Maybe the guy hasn't sold it to him because he doesn't want to sell it. He didn't want to take the money. Maybe this is an old school guy. that owns the Marine. That's Filthy Cat 305. That is about the dumbest reasoning that's out there, my brother. Okay? Just want you to know that. I'll just tell you straight up. Okay? That's a silly ass remark on your part. All right? Clearly, they don't want to sell it. That's all. And sometimes that happens. Guy's old school. You ran into the wrong guy. Tyreek pulled a Billy Bats from Goodfellas. Go get your effing shine box. Exactly. That's exactly what he did. If that's the case, that's what he did. So, we shall see. We eventually we'll see the video. It'll come out one way or another. Orlando says he would believe in the Marlins at July, not June. July, not June. July. July is the month that is the teetering month for the Marlins, and we'll tell you if we see. It's sad, okay, but here's what the Marlins have earned. Wait and see. One, I don't trust this owner yet. I haven't seen him spend. You know, you're going to have to keep people down the line if you develop them. You got to prove to me that, once I see you re-signing your own guys and a core and all that kind of stuff, then I'll believe it. You know what I'm saying? And then I got to see you also play against the better teams. And let me see how you handle your franchise. I've been through all of this already with this franchise many times over with different owners. I'm not falling in love with the players. I'm not falling in love with the team. I don't trust the owner. I don't trust the team. They have to earn my trust. And that's not going to happen because they put together a couple of good games here in this first half and they have a good record. That doesn't mean shit to me, dude. What it means to me is that you can finish out the season, that you're going to keep the people, you're going to better your product, that you're going to trade for players, that you're going to re-sign your own, all of those kind of things. When I see that, then I know there's a long-term projection for the team. But at the moment, it's a nice story, but it needs a lot more substance in order for me, I did the right thing, and I'm going to continue to do what I did last time. I didn't get too close to Fernandez and to Yelich and to Ozuna and to all those players. I kept a nice distance from it because I didn't know what was going to happen. And unfortunately, Fernandez made some bad decisions, and then the rest of the stuff got traded away. And when this guy got here, he got rid of people. He had a chance to keep somebody, send some messages, but he chose to trade everybody away. So until Sherman and Kim Eng and company show me that they can draft, develop, keep, and maintain, then I can give you my money, give you all my attention. You know what I'm saying? And then really connect. But at the moment, I am not going to be connecting with you because you've broken my heart way too many times already. And so until you show me true commitment and not a flukish couple of months run, and especially piling up a big record against a lot of bad teams, that's not going to get me excited or to believe in anything that the Marlins are doing. Is it nice to see Yuri every 5 days? Yeah. Is it fun to see maybe Sandy get back to form? Sure. And Jazz is exciting, and De La Cruz is doing a fantastic job, and all of that. But and a raise has been, a great trade. But you're eventually going to have to pay a raise. You have to pay him a lot of money. Are you willing to pay him a lot of money? Are you sure? Or are you building it up now to trade him and unload him for more picks, more young players? I've been there. I've done it over and over again. You're not getting me to completely buy into the Marlins until the Marlins actually show me that they give a shit about South Florida and being a winner. You know, Sherman talks about winning. Well, your team's pretty good. You're winning some now. The deadline's coming up. What are you going to do? What are you going to do next month on the 31st? I want to see how the month of July goes, and then I can tell you if I believe, at least in this season, if they can make some noise. You know what I'm saying? But long term, oh God, they're not even close to proving to me that they're committed long term. I need to see you pay these people that you're developing. When you do that, then I'm on board. But I'm just not selling out again for the Marlins until they sell out for me. So, let's see. Oh, dropping in during lunch. Sean and Frankie brought it last night on the Squared Circle Digest. Well, don't they bring it every time? But yeah, I'm sure they did. And I'm happy that we have the wrestling show in a place for wrestling fans to go to. What history does Tyreek have? Sam, it's called Google, my brother. Google. Do some homework. Be prepared. The best part of MLB this year, and I'm watching every game, is the fact that the Mets are terrible. Well, they spent all that money. God. Yeah. Yes, I know they extended Sandy, and they got him at the perfect time, young, and they didn't have to overpay too much. That's a nice start. That's not going to get you anywhere. You need a lot more than that. So we'll see. So Perez is on the path to being next level. He's already next level. Watching that guy pitch, God, Yuri Perez is awesome, dude. Awesome. Most overrated player on the Finns roster and most underrated. Most overrated player on the roster. Mike White is the most overrated player on the roster. He's not as good as people make him out to be. Most underrated player on the roster. Ooh, wow, it's a really good one, Sean. Really good one. Most underrated player on the roster last year, Kader Kohu. Because he had huge shoes to fill, and he was able to do a pretty decent job overall because they were missing so much in the secondary, safeties and corners, nickel, dime, everything was missing. X was, a shell of himself. So you really only had Holland and anything else. I'll go Kohu. I'll go Kohu as the most underrated player overall because I think he meant so much to that team when they were so beaten up at that spot. Robert Jones would have been maybe or Shell. Jones or Shell would have been in consideration there, overall. Those guys came through big time when Miami needed it, and they did serviceable jobs. I thought Shell did a solid job, and I thought Robert Jones did a really solid job, overall filling in for those guys. Very underrated and underappreciated what those guys did last year. That was a good question, Sean. I like that one. That one challenges you a little bit to kind of think a little bit there. I like it. Let's see. What sucks for me as a Met fan is what Red Skelton just said. We are terrible. All that money for nothing. Okay, we've had injuries, but there's no excuse to be this bad. Yeah, no, you're right, Lenny. Hard to argue with that. Maybe trade for a center fielder, move Jazz back to left field. Lewis is going to command a major contract if he stays on this pace. He might play his way out of the Marlins budget. Well, then that's kind of You know, that's what I'm talking about, bro. You know, Troy says, pre-show, you're exactly right. Is Sherman going to get cheap when the time comes to pay these young guys? If he doesn't, he should sell to Moss. You know, the Moss brothers would be, they would spend. Now, I'll be fair, okay? I love Jorge Moss. He's a terrific dude. The Moss brothers are awesome. They will spend money. They've proven it with Inter Miami. They do things that most what they've done already, Mickey Harrison would never do in his life. Okay? Put it that way. They built a stadium for fun in Fort Lauderdale. They spent $180 million for fun. They could have gone to FAU, maybe deal with Hard Rock and share the money just to get by until they build their stadium. They could have gone cheap. They could have gotten creative if they wanted to and go under the radar for a couple of years. They didn't. They went all out and built a stadium that they'll never use again once they go to Miami. Who the hell does that kind of shit? You know what I'm saying? So I need you to prove to me. And the good thing about the Moss brothers, they'll spend. But so far they haven't proven to me or you that they can build a franchise that knows how to build a team, because they haven't been able to get it done so far. They have been terrible. Okay. Now, the good thing is they're gutsy. They'll spend money. They are not cheap. They're not frugal. They're not looking to cut corners. They're not crying about tax money. Say Mickey, that stat, and great stat by Barry Jackson. I mean, this guy always freaking does it. Barry's just a beast. But in their lifetime, they've spent $54 million in taxes, which to me, that's not a lot considering how long you've owned the team. So I'm not really that impressed. What, you spend some tax during the big three? Now they're going to spend some tax on this team. And I'm looking at this team going, that's why the whole signing Strus and Gabe, considering the tax, probably not worth it because of what you've done to yourself. You've done some stupid moves prior to that. You know what I mean? But the Moss brothers, they show us that they'll spend. That's actually great, okay? Because they're very much like Stephen Ross and Vinny Viola. Viola and Sifu and Ross and Moss are super aggressive owners, okay? I'm not telling you that they're perfect, because Ross now has finally run into the right people with Greer and McDaniel. So finally he has the right people in place to kind of get this thing finally done. Moss has not proven that yet. You know what I'm saying? Mickey obviously gets great people, but there's a level of frugality that comes with them, and that kind of bothers me. Billionaires that are frugal, or that's just kind of not my thing. You know what I'm saying? Not my thing. I'm not into that. And so the Moss brothers haven't proven to us yet that they can put the right sports people in place. What they have proven to us is that money will not be the issue why they make a decision. Okay? So any decision on the pitch will not lack money. And I respect the shit out of that with the Moss brothers. I respect the hell out of that with Stephen Ross. And I respect the hell out of that with Viola and Sifu. Those guys have proven to me that money is never part of the equation. They want to win, and they will pay whatever it takes. If they have to overpay for a goalie, and now they were put in a tough position, they'll try to overcome it. If they have to buy a stadium, build the stadium on their own, Before they build another stadium on their own, they'll do it. If you have to build a brand new practice facility, pay for a $4.5 million defensive coordinator, modernize that stadium with, I don't know, $700-800 million of upgrades, you'll do it. You know what I mean? Those three owners in this town, so much respect for those guys. Now, do they have to tweak a couple things? Yeah. And I think Ross has finally tweaked it to the point where I think he now has the people in place to go along with the power of his money. Sifu and Viola and Sifu already have the people in place. They've been in the process now. The Moss brothers, that's the last thing that they have to kind of fix, is their personnel decisions suck. And that's where they must improve their team. They've got to become a better front office and stop making tons of bad decisions. You know, Messi is that's not a hard decision to make. You know, that doesn't take any skill. But all the other ones that you've been making here, yeah, that's the only thing that if he would have bought the baseball team, I don't know yet. I'm not sure if he would have built a winner. Because so far the Moss brothers haven't proven that part yet. But they're so aggressive, they're so dedicated, they're so fanatical, they care so much about South Florida, they want to make sure they look good. They're going to continue to work at it, and eventually I know the Moss brothers will win. No matter how much it's been a disaster the first 4 years. Hell, this will be a disaster this year because it looks to me like they're not going to make the playoffs, and you're going to bring Messi over and he's not going to be in the playoffs. That's freaking terrible. So that's the one area that I have to hold the Moss brothers' feet to the fire on that. You know, I would be a complete phony if I didn't call it like I see it. You know, and we have to be honest. Right now, the Moss brothers have not shown that they have built the right sports structure in order to win. They don't do a good job of drafting and developing players and developing a team. Buying Messi takes no skill. It just takes money and influence. That's all it takes. And the player wants to come here too. That helps. And the wife wants to come here. That helps. At least Harrison is smart and not crazy. Smart like giving Tyler Johnson $20 million? Because that's what Harrison wanted? Really? Smart like Duncan Robinson? Smart? Smart like Oladipo? Smart like Lowry? Okay. All right. If you say so. Okay. All righty. If it wasn't for Eric Spoelstra, Big O, do you think the Miami Dolphins, I mean, really, seriously, Rosendo, last couple of years, that franchise has made all kinds of freaking stupid-ass moves. Since the Big Three, if it's not for Eric Spoelstra, they've made a lot of stupid moves. A lot of them. A ton of them. They had to get rid of a second rounder to unload the massage gun this year. Dwayne Dedman, by the way, just in case if you didn't pick up on that. I mean, you had to throw away a second rounder just because you wanted to get rid of the massage gun. And you brought him back, and he got so old on you so quickly. I love the Heat. I love Riley to death. But they don't get a break. Just because I love them, I'm gonna call it like I see it. Eric Spoelstra has saved their asses because they've screwed Eric Spoelstra over. Now, if Eric has had a hand on some of these decisions, then, you know, well, Eric's kind of burned himself with personnel decisions too at the same time. I don't know. That part I don't know. You know what I mean? That part I don't know, but I'm not giving the Heat a break on that. I love the Heat. I love the Heat organization. I don't want Harrison to sell. I don't want Riley to go anywhere, but I'm not giving them a break. They made a lot of stupid decisions lately. And now it's leading you to not being able to keep some of your players because of the stupid decisions you made before this. And because of the new rules coming up, it would put you at a major disadvantage. So, unfortunately, you have to do the hard thing here and probably watch those two guys walk out. Big O, do you think the Miami Dolphins to have Dalvin Cook this year before the season starts? Do you think the Miami Heat can trade for Damian Lillard? Did you listen to the show? Why didn't they keep their word and build a park? Isn't that what they lost the parking? What park are you talking about? What are we talking about? Oh, you're talking about Mickey in the park next door? Is that what you're talking about, Jay? Is that what we're talking about? Why didn't they keep their word and build the park? Isn't that why they lost the parking area? Which one are we talking about? Oh, are you talking about the soccer team? Which one are we talking about? Because I know that there was some talk about the Heat doing some kind of a park next door, or there was also talk about the Moss brothers using the parking lot across from the stadium to build something there too. I'm not exactly sure. You got to clear it up for me. Which one are you talking about? Yes to which one? Has the success of other expansion teams such as the Vegas Golden Knights created an unrealistic expectation for Inter as the new? No, dude, no doubt. There are no expectations for Inter right now until the Messi thing. They've just done shit they've just screwed up on their own. That's all. Inter could be much better in their fourth year. They've just made a ton of shitty decisions and stupid ones. And David Beckham was part of it too. The Matuidi move, oh my God. That is a moronic move, dude. A DP, a defender? Are you out of your mind? You got to get a forward or a number 10 as a DP. You don't get a freaking defender. Stupid. Yeah, and just Pizarro was bizarro. And then you get busted with Carranza and the other guys you end up with 5 DPs when the law is only for 3. Like, the Higuain thing was a disaster. No, dude. Inter Miami has no one to blame but themselves for all the shitty moves that they've made. Yes, Inter was supposed to build a park so they would have parking. Yeah. I know they built the football fields for that, but I don't know if that part. Maybe eventually they'll do it, or maybe there's some kind of hang up with something else. But in the end, what's that going to do? You know what I'm saying? Whether they build the park or not, that to me, that part. Put it this way, Jay, I don't really give a shit about that part because they already spent their own money for that stadium. They built a beautiful field for football for them on the other side next to the training facility that they built. So the high school games have a better field than they ever had at Lockhart to play their games there. So they took care of that overall. There's now Fort Lauderdale has a beautiful stadium they would have never built because Broward doesn't really spend money in sports, in pro sports. So to me, that part of the deal, when it happens, but who cares? It wasn't like Lockhart was ever being used as a public facility or something. It was being destroyed pretty much. It wasn't like the baseball stadium that was sitting there like a white elephant. And nobody was using that either. It was all dead space. So they've brought life to that space in my eyes. And that stadium can be used for other things. Once that team moves out, you can have concerts there. You can have international friendlies there. You can have all kinds of things. Maybe even some high school. You could have maybe a high school championship there now, if you want. You can do all kinds of things once the soccer team moves to Miami. So that part of the deal, I don't care about that. I'm not worried about that. It's not like it's really going to make that much of a difference, building that park there or not. So it's not like Broward was going to do it on their own. You know what I'm saying? Broward is incredibly half-ass to weak when it comes to pro sports. They need to get their, you got to put a gun to their head for them to give you 2 pennies for pro sports. If it's not for Dade County, bro, pro sports don't get carried in this town without Dade County. Eric Spoelstra does 2 stupid substitutions that cost. See this guy, Terminator 23 Destroyer? Block him. Okay? Do me a favor. Block stupidity. Okay? We don't have time for morons. You're out of here, bro. There you go. See? That's when you get blocked for being a disrespectful asshole, and then you get blocked for just being dumb. And when you say stupid things, I don't have time for that. So we'll just eliminate you from the whole process, and we never have to deal with you again. It's a beautiful thing, And if you're stupid enough to go open another account and then get on the chat board, remember, you're going to be stupid enough to do the same thing over again, and guess what's going to happen to you over again? You'll get blocked. So don't bother, because you're just going to get yourself blocked again. So it's really not worth it. Just so you'll know, my man. So in other words, praise Harrison for hiring Riles. Praise Riles for hiring Spo. Smart moves, yes. But lately, a lot of stupid moves. Those are the facts. Since the big 3, Bob, Granger, Shabazz Napier, Dwayne Dedman, Duncan Robinson's contract, Kyle Lowry's contract, Oladipo's contract, Whiteside, Tyler, Dion, James Johnson. I could just go on and on and on and talk about all kinds of pure stupidity that has been done here since the big 3. And if it's not for Eric Spoelstra, my God. So yeah, they need to wake up a little bit there in the Heat offices. They need to do a little better. And lately they're drafting better. They've always done a great job of finding people off the street, because they started with UD. So they've been able to do that. They've done a decent job, and they've done a much better job, obviously, in the last 7-8 years. They've been doing a fantastic job overall. But some of their money decisions, that's why I was really proud of them that they didn't make the Bradley Beal move. That would be in line with some of the other stupid deals that they've done in the past. And that I like that. And I hate to say it, because of your prior stupid decisions, you now can't take the chance on Max and Max and Gabe. You can't. You're probably going to have to let them both go. Sucks, but it's probably the right thing to do. You need to start to get more liquid. That's what you have to do. We need to go through a year so the Lowry and the Oladipo money gets off the books by the end of the year. Well, Matuidi was a midfielder. His role was more of a ball winner in the midfield, not a defender. That's how he was used. Well, he was more of a defensive midfielder here. Frankie, he was a disaster. Okay? Whatever position you want to call it, you get goal scorers as DPs in this league. You don't get Matuidi. That was stupid. That was catastrophically stupid. And by the way, to a man, we all thought behind the scenes. We didn't say, at onside, we weren't saying it publicly, but behind the scenes, we were all like, what the hell are they doing getting Matuidi for? Nobody really liked that move. Hit with Mary J. Awesome Show, Big O. Hit that like button. There you go. Hit it. Hit it, Mary J. Brett Campbell says, I'm juiced, looking forward to going to my first Finns training camp in a few weeks. Any recommendations from your experience? Yes, sit at the top of the bleachers where the wind will hit you and it's a little cooler. The lower part, less wind, hot, humid, and sweating, baby. So go all the way to the top. And Brett, you better go visit me to the far right side. So come on by and say hi. Big O, if they build a park, it would be a homeless shelter without a roof. Not saying I don't care about the homeless. Matuidi and Paul Pogba are similar players, best comparisons. What happens was that Matuidi was relied on so much that he could not do it all himself and he would gas out. Plus, he lost motivation. Brother, you in this league, in the MLS, you got 3 DPs. They got to be goal scorers. Matuidi's not a goal scorer. So it doesn't matter to me. It was a terrible signing. There's no reasoning to have Matuidi as one of your 3 DPs. Well, in their case, 5. Wear plenty of sunblock, drink plenty of water, get there early because of parking. Yeah, that's true. Those are all good tips by Rosendo right there. Great tips. Marlins won 10-1 yesterday. Sandy, 3-6 with the win. 7 innings, 6 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. Good for him. And I didn't get to watch the game. Obviously, I was a little busy last night. Gene Segura hit his 2nd home run, coming back from the injured list. That was awesome. Brian De La Cruz hit his 9th home run. He's been such a find for them. Jazz went 3 of 4, 2 runs scored, 3 RBIs. Tonight, Braxton Garrett at 7:10, and I will not be watching again because I'll be at the Cure concert. What else do we have? Tata Martino will be the head coach. Tata was going to be the guy, right? But when it first got out, Inter wanted to put out there, hey, no, we haven't made a decision yet. We need to go through the farce of interviewing our guy in the building, the current interim coach. We need to make it look like we're actually making some kind of a coaching search, folks. No. Tata's, no, that's not true yet. That's like the news comes out and then they're in the building and then the interim coach is there. It's like, yo, bro, that means I have no shot. Oh, no. That's the media. They're just running with it. They don't know what's, the media, they don't know what's going on. That's what happened in that situation. The agent for Tata probably let it out. And then they had to kind of backtrack because, hey, we need to go through the farce of saying, we interviewed the people within and all that stuff. And we can't act like we're just hiring whatever Messi tells us to do because he's your new personnel director. Oh, man. That is funny. That is really funny. What else do we have going on? We told you about who's getting a star on the Walk of Fame. We gave you the list of folks. Well, let's give you a couple of other news and notes in entertainment. First of all, let's go with today in music history. On the 28th of June in 97, Pink Floyd's Dark Side of the Moon began its 1,056th week on the album charts. Rumors started swirling that the record syncs up with The Wizard of Oz when you started as the MGM lion roars for the 3rd time. Yeah, that's that whole thing. In 2012, on this date, Lamb of God frontman Randy Blythe was arrested for manslaughter before the band's gig in Prague. The charge came from a 2010 gig in the city where a fan jumped on stage and got into a tussle, causing him injuries that led to his death. Blythe was later cleared. In 1980, on this date, Paul McCartney's Coming Up became one of the few live recordings to reach the top of the Billboard charts Hot 100. Fans and DJs preferred the live version to the studio one on the flip side of the record. Man, I can remember that song being cranked up. I don't know why. I can't tell you. I can't explain it. I'm 14 years old, and I'm at the Venetian pool. Okay? And I remember that song. And that's the first thing that comes to my mind when I think about that song. I don't know why. And it's just me remembering the Venetian pool and being there. And I remember when they were jamming music and that song from Paul McCartney was blasting on the speakers. Used to love going to the Venetian pool as a kid, you know? Anyway, in 96 on this date, Def Leppard kicked off their North American leg of their 133-date tour with the Slang World Tour in Ohio. In 97 on this date, Radiohead went to number 1 on the UK album charts with their third album, OK Computer. The record only made it to 21 on the US charts. In 2000, Soundgarden singer Chris Cornell and then his wife, artist manager Susan Silver, became the parents of a baby daughter named Lillian Jean. So that's what happened today in music history. Birthdays today. Got a couple. Let's start off with Elon Musk. Elon Musk is 52 years old today. Let's see. Who else? Kathy Bates, the actress, is 75 today. Pat Morita, today is his birthday. He's no longer with us. Passed away back in 2005, but today is his birthday, or would have been his birthday. Tichina Arnold, the actress, she is 54 years old. Mel Brooks, still going strong. He is 97 years old today. Bradley Beal, the guy that the Miami Heat could have made a mistake. I'm not going to say almost because I don't think they were really going to sign him. So could have made that mistake. Bradley Beal is 30 years old. John Cusack is 57. Shakur Stevenson, the boxer, is 26 years old. John Elway, horses, of course, is 63 years old today. Kelly Pickler, country singer, she is 37 years old today. So several big names celebrating birthdays today in entertainment history. The other thing, actor Julian Sands, Oxford Blues, right? He's the guy that is going up against, but what was that other one that I'm trying to think of that he was in? For those of you that may not know who Julian Sands, Highlander, was Julian Sands in Highlander also? Anyway, let me see here. Julian Sands confirmed to have died at the age of 65. The San Bernardino County Sheriff's Coroner announced on Tuesday. Human remains recently found in the area of Mount Baldy Wilderness, where Sands was reported missing during a hike in January, matched that of the Arachnophobia actor. There you go. If you saw Arachnophobia, he was there too. The manner of death is still under investigation, pending further test results. The department said in a statement obtained by the New York Post, We would like to extend our gratitude to all the volunteers that worked tirelessly to locate Mr. Sands. Sands was reported missing in the Baldy Bowl area in Mount Baldy in San Gabriel Mountains at around 7:30 p.m. January 13th. San Bernardino County Sheriff's Department spokesman Mara Rodriguez said at the time of the actor's disappearance, civilian hikers notified the Fontana Sheriff Station of human remains found in the Baldy Wilderness, with the department responding to the scene along with the Sheriff's Department and Emergency Operators Division. Sands was best known for roles with A Room with a View in 85, Warlock in 89, Arachnophobia in 90, and Leaving Las Vegas, that's right, in 95. The English actor's career spans 5 decades and includes television roles on 24, Banshee, and Smallville. Dude, I forgot that he was in Smallville. I enjoyed Smallville. I really did. Really did. So what a shame. What a way to go, right? You die by yourself in a mountain. Oh, God, man. That's so sad to go by yourself like that. Man, it's kind of heartbreaking, to be quite honest. Let's see. Venetian Pool. Damn, I totally forgot about that place. Thanks for jarring my memory. Lots of good times there as a kid. Yeah, I mean, have you ever gone to the Venetian Pool, Sean? Really? Wow, dude. Damn. Is Pat in Asheville sending me? He's somewhere eating a hot dog. So he's, of course, sending me a picture of the hot dog. Oh, man. Bitcoin still holding strong over 30,000. I don't think things are good in the market right now. Dow is down 100 points. S&P is down 8.5 points. And the NASDAQ is down about 1/3 of a point. So things aren't good in the regular markets. But cryptos, well, Bitcoin and Ethereum are holding strong, super strong. The alts are the ones that are taking a hit. Polygon's down 5%. Cardano's down 3.5%. Immutable X down 4%. So yeah, you've got a couple that are hurting right now. Dot down 2%. Avalanche down 4%. I've loaded up on Polkadot the last couple of weeks with some of the lows that it's been at. Love it. Let's see, what else do we have going on in the world of sports or entertainment? Let's see. Saw Leonard Fournette's car. Wow, holy shit! I'm glad he's all right. Damn. It's one of those where your car gets on fire, but you have plenty of time to get the hell out. The scary ones are the ones that are like trapped in their car and the car is on fire. I saw that recently. I forgot where it was. It shows like a good Samaritan like rushing in there and pulling somebody out of a car that was on fire, and it would have really like that person would have been dead if you keep watching, because that car ended up getting engulfed in flames. Elon can't be serious about fighting MMA at 51. I got my money on Zuck. Yeah, I think I think those two idiots are serious about doing this. They have some personal beef in between them or whatever. Now the Facebook guy already is, he already trains in some sort of martial arts. I don't know what it is. And he's in shape, not a big guy. Now, Elon Musk is like 6 foot, but he's like 200 pounds or something, bro. He weighs, or maybe 230 pounds. Or so. He's a big fat ass like me. So he's not in great shape, and now he's training and all that. But I got to tell you something, Brett, they're going to do this for charity. And while it's something that you and I don't want to watch and we don't really care for, I talked about this the other day. This can be huge because the average person will be interested in something stupid like this. They don't know any better. And then Elon has this strong following. Like, there are people that love what Elon does and what he stands for, a lot of the things that he's doing to make our world better, from electric cars to, cars that drive by themselves, to that satellite link where you can get internet anywhere, and, all the other things that he's doing. And so a lot of people are strong believers of Elon because they feel like which I think in general, he does do more good than harm with our society overall. You have to agree with that. And so he has this large following. I don't think Zuck has it. I don't think Meta/Facebook has the same kind of love around the world that Elon does. But because the average person doesn't know any better, not as sports holes, we're like, we're the minority in the world as it is. The majority, those people are going to be interested. Some of them will end up paying. And I think they're going to raise a lot of money for charities. So the fact that they are willing to do it for charities, I'm good with that. I have no problem. You know what I mean? I'm not paying the $100. I don't want to see it. I don't really care. Now, if I get invited over a friend's house or something, so I go watch it and then talk about it, sure. I'll do that. Will they have other celebrity fights leading up to that one? We go by bank accounts, right? So we got to go with like a little lesser bank accounts than Elon and Zuck. Make that fight to the death. That should stir it up. It should stir up more interest. Maybe. Winner should then fight Tom from MySpace. Wow, Big O. Mel Brooks is 97. It's good to be the king. Let's see. R.I.P. former QB Ryan Mallett. Yeah, 35. He drowned. He was high school at Whitehall High School. He was the head coach. So he was, doing some good and helping kids out. Sad story, man. Really sad story. All right. We are out of here, folks. We want to thank Ira Winderman. We want to thank Joe Shad. Matt Verderam is pushed back to tomorrow. He's a little bit under the weather, so we will accommodate him and get him a little rest. We thank Sean Stanley, of course, the man that always powers this entire platform, getting it done. We are here till tomorrow morning. Tomorrow morning, we will fly back. Tomorrow afternoon, we will be at Hialeah Park. So if you want to join us out at Hialeah, let's build it up, man. Let's get, if you guys become an audience out there, hanging out with us to watch the shows and all that, I will. Besides, you can also ask us questions and things like that. We'll have an open mic. I will start bringing prizes and giveaways. So come on out to Hialeah Park every Thursday, man. Starting off at 3:00. You can wager on any track around the country. You can go to one of the tables, play some poker, all kinds of gaming action. They've got the loosest slots in the entire state. So come on out and join us, man. You make it an event, we'll make it an event out there at Hialeah Park. Appreciate all of you out there. We will see you tomorrow. Same time, same place, same bat channel.